check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's the Cool Band Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Feliz Navidad, everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes you.
And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
Joyeux Noël.
Feliz Navidad,
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
For the last time until the holiday season in 2024, it's the 6 o'clocker holiday jam. Is that what we're calling it? Jonty and Victoria with the beauty holiday edition of the 6 o'clocker anthem. And we thank Jonty and Victoria very, very much for that little ditty. You were into that one, Jay Milne.
Feeling it.
Feeling it.
Feeling
It's
it.
Friday.
It's Friday.
Hey now, welcome to the Nielson Show. Tom Gazzola, Jay Milne with you, the EST Glue guy, as we take you into the weekend. YouTube Trev, I'm so glad you dug that one out. Did you hear what else? Owana came up to me yesterday. He goes, oh, by the way, I have the songs for you, the goal songs, because we have access. He does, at least, to
He has access.
the Nasty Club. Like, I don't even know. How do we not have access to the Nasty Club?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have it. He didn't. Dang it. Well, it's too late now, Maddie.
Well,
it's Friday, Maddie.
It's Friday. This is the last time I'm going to say that.
Could have
today.
used those on Monday
Yes,
or
we
Tuesday, I guess.
We could have. But you know what? We made it through the week. One more big show for you. And then the boys are back. I hope Eric is feeling better because, man, whatever this cold is that's going around, it's just knocking people on their ass. It got Cass really, really badly. It got Belzy prior to that. And then even before, like, Joaquin was fighting it for a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God Joaquin's been around as well, filling in on a bunch of shows, doing his regular shows, and then popping on the morning show. Gager filled in for Cass on the pre- and post-game show. So teamwork. We've got glue guys. We've got the glue guy today, and we're ready to rock with you AM Nasties.
That's why you have to keep your alcohol content high at this time of the year.
As one does,
Yeah,
naturally.
it's self-healing.
Self-healing.
Prevention is your
Right.
best medicine, folks.
Yes. I believe a wise man once said that.
Maybe one of the three wise men. I don't know.
I'm not sure which one,
There's
but
no way that none of them were drunk when they were going through what they were going through.
I mean, that was a long journey, and to do it without any booze, that's a tough one.
They used to make a lot of fine liqueurs
Yeah?
back in the day. Yeah,
In biblical times?
sure.
Oh, okay. I
mean,
believe you.
Jesus turned water into wine.
He did. He did.
That guy liked to get down.
Well, he'd liked a good party, so he made sure everyone could get down with him.
Yeah,
That's why we get down on Sundays
that's right. Or
Right.
Fridays.
or Fridays.
Hey,
Tell me.
we got beer of the week coming up.
Yes, we do. Scott Laurie stopping by. He's our Santa Claus.
You know, usually I come in on Fridays for the hangout,
Yep.
so I always am listening as they're going through it.
Yeah.
And today I'm going to be here, and it's going to be cool.
It's fun. It's different when you're doing it. And then, especially if, like, you brought in some delicious pastries today. So big thank you to EST Glue Guy coming through in the clutch, getting us some sustenance, pardon me.
Well, and we could use some substance to this show as well.
Yeah, evidently. And anyway, but like when you, because I noticed that Scott like sneaks you a beer too.
He always,
He's got one for you.
Him and I have this great working relationship
Yes.
where I come in and I'm always jealous, and I'm always peering into this studio to see
are.
the lovely Popeye's studio, to be mentioned.
Absolutely.
And then when he leaves, I'm always asking, so which one? Because he knows what kind of beer I like, which
knows
is
your
like
style.
I believe it's a New England style
IPA.
IPA. Because there's a difference between that and a West Coast IPA, which I've learned
Definitely.
all from this show. Can you believe that?
It's somewhat educational sometimes.
It's delicious and educational.
Yeah.
So he always shows me which one was his go-to. You know what?
I think he snuck a can into your pocket one day.
He did.
Yeah.
He's
That's
a lovely
friendship.
man. You know what?
great man.
What you see is what you get when you think of Scott Laurie.
The best.
He's a beauty. Redbeard on Twitter, delivering delicious, crushable beers throughout the holidays.
That's right.
I mean, I don't even think he spent Christmas Eve at home. I think he was too busy traveling all across northern Alberta, delivering beautiful, crushable 6 o'clocker lagers to Safeways and Sobeys liquor stores.
Yes, he was.
YTT,
Yeah.
let's get this Friday going.
Yeah, I like the attitude. Yeah. Where do you want to?
Well, Tommy comes
Tell
in
me.
on the text line. Text us at 780-218-9999. That's the Paris Jewelers inbox.
You bet it
Tommy
is.
comes in and he wants a cons for Tommy G being the EST MVP this
Wow.
week, and I'm down for that.
Yeah, let's give that a go.
Thank you, Tommy
Yes.
Rubella. I appreciate that.
Yes, yes.
I need this Americano, which the glue guy picked up today. So thank you, sir.
Oh, you're
Clutch. Man, you're feeling good. I like this. You're getting,
I'm bouncing.
getting
I'm ready
settled
to
in.
go. Yeah. You know, day two, I guess I'm on a bit of a heater here too.
Yeah, you are.
You know,
Yeah, you
day
are.
two's just rolling off the tongue a lot easier than day one.
It's all good. Yesterday's show was fun. You said your daughters were laughing when I went in my Karen moment.
Yeah, they loved that. They thought the funniest thing was when I stood up and walked over to you and gave you a hug.
I needed the vent sesh. Thank you to the Nasties for putting up with it. And then I needed the hug. Glue guy right there.
Well,
Crushing
I was talking to a good friend of mine, Sickler, and he suggested that we just go ahead to pre-production on Karen's Corner with Tom Gazzola.
Oh boy. Thanks.
No,
Sickler?
that can be anything. Yeah, he's a beauty. He's a nasty. He.
Appreciate that.
I mean, we could start off with, like Gager said it on the Hangout yesterday, and I thought this was a great idea. We would love, and I collectively say we, as in the royal we, Y2T.
I love how you say that. He starts laughing. What's a T?
The Nasties.
Yep.
What would you guys think of just watching Tommy comb his hair? How does he do that, for one?
It's a process.
It is.
Saint-
I think there would be
methods.
a large audience for that. There's no way that wouldn't get over 500 viewers.
At least. Those are good, cheap clicks that I could put on an Instagram story every morning. And you know what's funny is when I went on Instagram when I got home yesterday, guess what? Like all of the stories were the exact stuff I complained about and from people that I love, appreciate, and admire. And I was like, you guys are letting me down. You didn't listen to the show clearly this morning. Or they did, and they did it out of spite
Well,
to get this Karen going.
you know what happens, Mr. Gazzola,
Tell me now.
when you talk around these things.
They hear you. They hear you.
No way you can tell me that's not true.
That is so true. We do have a great show for you on this Friday. As mentioned, Scott Laurie will be stopping by later on. Old Redbeard for Sobe Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. I am looking forward to seeing what Scott has in store for us. That'll be around 8:20 or so. We are going to talk U of A sports. As a former alum, or you are an alum, but a former player on the football side, you thought, hey, we need to talk U of A sports. I agree with you wholeheartedly. We're going to go basketball. Defending Canada West champions, the Pandas, their coach, Scott Edwards, will join us at 7:25. And then we will hear from Shehan Jeyarahan, who is the National College Football writer for CBS Sports. And you got your Michigan hat on. You're a Harbaugh guy. You don't care about no sign-stealing scandal. That thing be damned. Let's Go Michigan against the Huskies, where Lucas Holt is seething and fuming hearing me say that.
Even if I did care about the cheating scandal, they penalized Harbaugh.
Yes.
He sat out for 3 games, so shut up.
He's good to go. Get those conch requests in via the Paris Jewelers inbox.
Jocelyn's a Michigan lady.
Jocelyn is?
Yeah,
I know she's a Hurricanes fan.
She's a hail to the victors. Can't
right.
wait till Monday.
Hey, and some people were saying yesterday, who cares? Who cares about college football playoffs, national championship? And I at first I thought, yeah, no, I get you. But I use this example. It happened the other night at the game where Merlin, one of the security guys, older gentleman, was like, hey, Tom, tell me you're watching the national championship this week. Did you watch the Sugar Bowl and the Rose Bowl? I was like, Merlin, I did watch the Sugar Bowl. I caught the highlights of the Rose Bowl. He's like, man, it's going to be a great game this weekend. And I was like, if that guy, who's a huge hockey fan, works at Rogers Place, loves the Oilers,
Yeah, there's something to be said about
probably loves the Elks, because there's Elks news to get to as well. I'm thinking to myself, yes, there is some appreciation for the national championship in good old our town and probably in our country overall. It is a spectacle, like we were saying yesterday.
Well, it's the one time of the year that's the only game in town. It was last week.
Yeah.
It is again on Monday. And if you're a football fan,
You can be a fan of all football too, by the way.
yeah, then there's quite a few players in this game that'll end up in the CFL. Quite a few that'll end up in the NFL.
Yep.
Right? So you're a football fan. You're a sports fan.
It's
It's a spectacle.
It's
You're
a
right.
spectacle.
If you're
It's a
sports
big
fan,
deal.
you
Like,
shouldn't-
it's at Energy Stadium in Houston this year, and I'm sure that stadium is going to be rocking. You're going to have the college bands and the cheer teams, and the mascots are going to fight each other at halftime in a ring under the spotlight. I'm kidding, they won't, but that would be great.
That'd be fun.
You could sell tickets for that on its own, but it'll be a great game, and we're going to discuss it today. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Local family-owned business with 22 stores across Canada. Do not pay until 2025 with their flexible financing options. Shop in-store or online at parisjewelers.com. Of course, Todd Gazzola, Jay Milne, and YouTube Trev on this Friday edition of the Nielson Show inside the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios. And Popeyes 5 flavors of wings now available. Signature hot, honey garlic, my favorite, honey barbecue, garlic parm, ghost pepper, $9.99 for 6 big breaded delicious wings. Get them on DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and Uber Eats if you're not popping in to a Popeyes on your own. Let's mention a couple things that have been going on. And conch requests too, please. Get your conch requests in going into the weekend. We want to do that. I know we don't have the traditional conch that Lieutenant Eric recorded on his own. We have the one that Trevor learned how to do on his own.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's a recording. It's just you sitting behind the desk.
Well, yeah. So that's why we have to space it out.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Because, I had a lot of fun making that one.
You did, I could tell.
Yep, it
You
was a good
ended
one.
it so strongly. Yeah. 13 games in the NHL last night, Jay. The skills competition for the Oilers last night, Jay. And some Elks news, like I mentioned, and then some Elks rumors coming out as well. And then even the PGA season's kicked off already at Kapalua. Sagit Tagala in the lead, shot an impressive 64.
Say that name 10 times.
Sahit Tagala.
1.
I'll just leave it there. He was on the Netflix series, I think, was it Full Swing?
Full Swing, yeah.
Yeah. And he has become one of the more likable young guns on the tour, if you will. And I actually enjoy watching him. And I like his demeanor. He's got a very laid-back persona. He's a competitor. Obviously, he wants to win every weekend. But the talent's there. He had some great weekends this past season. But there's also like a humility to him. Like, he's not the hot dog, you know? A lot of these guys in the world of golf, a lot of pro athletes, obviously, a lot of media people, we're hot dogs. We can be hot dogs. But I like his approach, and he's kind of more reserved and humble. And then he backs up everything he says humbly with a solid game. For the
It's
most part.
refreshing.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see.
Very likable. player. So he's one of the guys I enjoy. Like when I do watch a PGA Tour event, I'm looking to see how Sahit Tagala is doing.
Is that the Champions tournament?
The Kapalua one?
I believe it is. Yeah, I think it's the first tournament every year is the Champions tournament. That's always an exciting time, is when you see those golfers back on the course in Hawaii, because that's a scenic course.
It's the
fun
Century.
to watch. The Century?
The Century, yeah.
But I think I'm sure some of the nasties will
They know.
we'll figure it out.
They know what you're talking about.
I think or I don't know, maybe it's the second tournament where it's, you had to be a champion last year to play.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't think this is it.
Fine.
It's the Century.
Fine.
If I'm wrong, let me know. 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox. Get those contra quests in. Strummy's in there. Bumblebee Tuna to Strummy. Yes, Jocelyn's in there. Big G's in there. Tube Socks was texting us earlier than 6 o'clock and then at 6 o'clock. Tube Socks says, I'll never do that to you that way on Instagram, Tommy. I appreciate that. Norm and a Combine checking in. Good day, Norm. How are you? For all of those nasties, how about a conch? Sticking with us all week. In the bye week that is coming out of the holidays with me and you and Gager and Trev. Jimmy isn't that great? Jimmy Onishi via the nasty chat says, after today, Tommy can start coming in late at 8:58. Jimmy Onishi, I look forward to that. I look forward to that.
I think Tommy's done this week being over for this setting it's going to be fruitful for you, for Iwanic, for YTT. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
You guys have put in the time.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see how hard you guys crash later.
I'm doing an oil stream from home today. I'm declaring it.
Yeah. That's okay. That happens.
Yeah. I'll be doing it from the home studio, satellite studios in beautiful downtown Edmonton, Alberta. Elks news. Did you catch what happened last night?
Yeah, that's we're going to obviously talk first about Aaron Grimes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
As we should.
Yeah. Just, you know what?
Friend of EST.
Yeah. Beauty.
Hangout guest.
Beauty guy.
Yeah.
Beauty person. He now calls Edmonton home. It's the sucky side of the sports that we love is that there's a business element to it. And this, it wasn't in the cards for him to come back as an Elk for the 2024 season. He's been injured, coming off surgery.
Multiple. I think knee surgeries. And
so in saying that, the Elks didn't just kick him to the curb probably when they could have.
Well, they also have to take care of him medically. But
Yes.
You're right. They gave him another shot last year.
Now
he was at camp.
So obviously he's one of those players, right? And they don't come around that often, but they seem to come around on the Elks more than they would, say, the Oilers or any other, professional, semi-professional leagues in Edmonton and area. But you get those guys that just hit with the community, that give so much to the community, and Aaron was one of them.
Very much so.
Right? He followed in the lineup, the shoes of a Jed Roberts.
Yes.
Of a Ryan King.
Yes.
Of guys that just bought into the community that would be in your sons and daughters' schools.
Sean Fleming is here.
Exactly. And they're all still here.
Thaddeus Coleman, Odell Willis is still here.
Yeah.
Guys like, Mookie Mitchell still lives here.
Daryl Mookie Mitchell. He still lives here. You're right. And so that's something you just got to appreciate and not, I don't know if we can blame the Elks, if we can say, why'd you do that? I think they did a lot for Aaron, and Aaron's done a lot for them.
I hope there's a future with him.
Well, he said it on Twitter
side.
last night that hey, he could still, he's just a free agent. He could still suit up next year for the green and gold.
Yeah.
He could go elsewhere. We don't know, but he lives in Edmonton. He married a lady from Edmonton. He's got a young family in Edmonton. His daughter is a kick-ass basketball player because she plays against my daughter.
Yeah.
They went head-to-head a couple times. It was good. Aaron and I would sit on the sideline and try to not be the overzealous, loud dad.
Right.
So we kind of kept our tone in step. But I wish the best. And of course, he's whatever happens, if this is the end of football for him, I wouldn't be surprised if he does get into coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already doing it, mentoring on the sidelines. Like I said, just a great community guy. And maybe there's a role within the Elks organization for someone like that.
Yeah. I think he's a Chris Jones guy, and I think Chris Jones has a ton of time for him. As you played DB for the Bears, I think you can appreciate the position, how grueling it can be. To do it, he did play 8 seasons in green and gold. There was the 1 year with the Lions. He went to Philly with the Eagles for the 1 year. He's 32 years old. He's got his whole life in front of him. He's done quite a bit professionally, football-wise. If your knees are going at that position, and he's not the biggest guy. He's like 6 feet tall. Not thick, but like still could pack a punch. But if your knees aren't there, Jay, like how do you maybe he's good to go. Maybe a team takes a flyer on him, but how tough does it make it? Because you played the position for a bunch of years at the U of A.
Yeah, and I never had any real injuries, thankfully. But those things they don't get better.
Right.
They get manageable or tolerable for a certain period of time, but they never get repaired back to a brand new knee or back to when you were 25 status. So yeah, I mean, and he's 32. That's 10
years of pro football.
That's a long time.
I hope someone takes a shot on Aaron Grimes and gives him a chance to crack their roster this year. But yeah, you're right. It's a long time.
32. I mean, the average career, I think, in professional football is under 2 years.
Yikes.
Generally.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, 2 to 3 years, especially in the NFL, because you don't become a pensionable NFL player until you've rostered for 3 seasons.
Even that's tough.
So if you roster for 3 seasons in the NFL, then you're entitled to a pension, which is good.
Right.
But if not, then you're not on that list, Tom. Sorry.
I understand wholeheartedly. In the NHL, 400 games is the threshold.
400 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's similar time space. Like that's 82.
6-7 seasons, right?
Yeah. I guess that's a longer time to get a pension.
Yeah.
But if you're playing 3 years,
5-6 seasons, maybe somewhere around.
If you're
there.
playing 3 years in the NFL, you've done something right.
Absolutely.
And then this
what else on the outside?
This quarterback drama.
Was it Farhan that put it out there as well yesterday?
Yeah.
I think it was Farhan. So if you didn't catch it, Farhan Lalji from TSN, great CFL reporter, great reporter in general, just an awesome dude, put it out there that it sounds like the Elks will be releasing Taylor Cornelius. Obviously, Cornelius, who was the starter at times last season before the emergence of Trey Ford, he struggled, but there was hope for him. They gave him a multi-year deal 2 seasons ago, and the hope was that he would evolve in his 3rd CFL season into a reliable starting quarterback that could help lead the Elks out of the muck in the CFL basement. That didn't happen, and the other thing that comes with this is they guaranteed him $100,000 Canadian for next season, regardless if he plays or not.
Pay him. Get him out of here.
Yeah. Great guy by all accounts. Every time I dealt with him, he was excellent. But
Yeah, not a great quarterback. Sorry.
it didn't pan out. It didn't. A lot of people said they wanted to see him without or under Jarius Jackson and to see if maybe he could flourish with Jackson at the helm as OC. And that never really materialized. He just had the short yard packages where he would go in and punch in to get the first down.
He had lots of opportunity.
TDs.
It wasn't for lack of opportunity.
No.
He just didn't produce. He just there's a couple people in the nasty chat. Cornelius sucks. The Connor Brown of the Elks.
He did get them a couple of wins, but yeah,
I know
it's
a couple
bad
wins
era
in the CFL. Geez, Tom, you could go in there and get a couple wins if you had to.
I'd get killed.
Yeah,
But thank you. I appreciate that very much.
you hand the ball off, you make a couple throws. It's not rocket science. He's just not. He didn't develop. He came in as the second coming, and he was supposed to be the next quarterback,
Yeah.
and he never took the progression. He never went up the ladder. He just stayed the same, made poor decisions continually, and now we're talking about they're maybe getting rid of him to bring in a McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Yeah, saw that yesterday from Dave Campbell, from Chad.
And that's even worse. Like, what are we doing?
Justin Dunk had kind of talked about that a little bit on 3 Down Nation.
We've got the Patrick Mahomes of the CFL sitting in our locker room, and you're going to, I mean, are you bringing McLeod Bethel Thompson in to maybe nurture and help, or
Safety net is what I thought immediately. I was
Safety
like,
net.
Really?
That's an expensive safety net. He does not come with a cheap price tag. And if that's the case, then why don't you keep Cornelius as a safety net?
Well, the last time McLeod
You're losing
Bethel,
$100,000 to
and
Cornelius.
it's probably going to cost you a couple $100,000 to bring in Bethel Thompson. And Bethel Thompson, the last time he played a game, he was lifting the Grey Cup, and that was in 2022. Wanted to stay home last year, I believe. But McLeod Bethel Thompson, his whole career has kind of been different, where he went to the Spring League a couple of times, Jay, which is now the United Football League, formerly the USFL, formerly the Spring League. He just kind of does things his own way, and then now all of a sudden it sounds like they've been negotiating, maybe talking with him. From what I understand, there might be some other teams trying to get McLeod Bethel Thompson back in to the CFL as well. Like he left the game at the top of the mountain, but early, like he could have made some decent bucks for the next few years.
Yeah.
And that might be what's going on right here.
I think
if that
somebody
happens.
talked about, there's a quarterback problem in the NFL. There's a quarterback problem in the CFL.
Who are your superstars in the city? Caleros, obviously. Trey Ford's an emerging one. Vernon Adams Jr. is starting to really take off. Had a great year in BC. Nathan Rourke was great 2 years ago. I don't know if he's coming back, although he did wind up with the Patriots. Someone asked yesterday.
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
an Ask Chat, is he going to save the Patriots? I don't know. It doesn't feel like they want to give him a chance. He's just kind of there. Canadian guy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what Belichick-
unfortunately the
Canadian
curse
guy.
of a Canadian is you're never going
Sucks.
to.
That sucks that that's how they look at it.
You're always going to be a Canadian guy.
That's what Belichick said. Canadian guy. Yeah. So what? Good player. Good player, hoodie boy. What were you gonna say? I feel like I cut you off.
No, I just I think that's one of the issues that the CFL faces. I mean, CFL viewership has been going down and down and down.
It was
and
back
down.
up last year. That's Dusty.
And I hope it continues.
Yeah.
I hope it does, because that is one of the most Canadian things going. I mean, really, the CFL, when we were coming up, when you had, do you think of the quarterbacks that there used to be? Damon Allen, Doug Flutie,
Yep. Jeff Garcia, Dave Dickinson,
Henry Burris.
Burris was great. Who else was there? Matt Dunnigan, obviously.
I just
Anthony
feel like
Calvillo.
there's so much turnover in the CFL.
In football.
No, there's not.
okay.
Like, Pat Mahomes is a Kansas City Chief for life.
Right.
Travis Kelce ain't going anywhere.
Right.
Tom Brady, at the end of his career, moved around. But you know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you mean.
You have Ricky Ray. Ricky Ray should have been the Eskimos quarterback for the rest of his career.
I can tell you what happened there.
Spit.
Ego. Eric Tillman's ego
Wow.
shipped him out of there.
Tillman was a basket case.
No. He's still in the league somehow.
Go figure.
No.
Right?
Retreaded.
Well,
multiple times.
there's a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into it.
No, let's not.
Diatribe about the CFL, but I just feel like there's so much turnover, and there's, if you're a young player or a young fan and you want to get behind the Elks and say, hey, that's my team, and Trey Ford, what a young guy, young Canadian quarterback, the marquee position. In 2 years, he won't be here.
I hope that that's not the case. I hope
I
you're wrong.
almost guarantee it, especially if he gets better.
I hope you're wrong.
Right? So,
all right, let's do a conch to all the nasties joining us now, and then we're going to get into a sports update, and we'll roll along here in the 6 o'clock hour. Get your conch requests in Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999 or via the nasty chat as we roll along on this Friday edition of the Nielson Show. Gazzola and Milne alongside, what is his name? What are you calling him today?
YTT?
Yeah, that's the one. People are already commenting on how you say YTT, which is great. Scott Edwards will join us, U of A Pandas basketball coach, at 7:25. And then we'll catch up with Shehan Jeyarahan. He is the national college football writer for CBS Sports as we get set for the CFP National Championship between the Wolverines, like Jay's hat displays, and then the Washington Huskies. We'll also have Scott Laurie stopping by around 8:20 for Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week, which I am very much looking forward to. I just want to see Scott, and he is our Santa Claus because he brings us copious amounts of delicious beers to try. So we're rolling along. Get those conch requests in. We got a lot of great stuff on the way, some fantastic guests as we cruise here on this Friday edition of the Nielson Show. Without further ado, let's get to Jay Milne and a sports update.
This sports update was brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting services, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com. That's green-plan.com, or give them a call at 780-455-4292. As we just talked about, the Edmonton Elks have released veteran defensive back Aaron Grimes. The 32-year-old Seattle native was a Grey Cup champion with the club in 2015 while being named an All-Star. He would go on to spend 2016 with the Philadelphia Eagles before returning to Edmonton the following year. Grimes played with the BC Lions in 2019 before returning to Edmonton once again in 2021. In other Elk news, TSN's Farhan Lalji is reporting that we could see the club release Taylor Cornelius from the roster. The 28-year-old Texas native will be owed $100,000 in guaranteed money next season, regardless if he plays or not. Rumors are swirling that 2022 Grey Cup champion McLeod Bethel Thompson may be returning to the CFL with Edmonton. Busy night in the National Hockey League with 13 games on tap. Calgary doubled up Nashville 6-3. The Canucks fall 2-1 to the Blues, and the Kings lose to Detroit 4-3 in a shootout. The Golden Knights fall 4-1. These are all good things. These are all good things.
Yes, it's all the updates in the Pacific Division.
Yes, these are. But the scores are right.
They
Tommy,
are pretty good. Yes,
for the Oilers crew here. And the Golden Knights fall 4-1 to Florida, and the Kraken defeat the Sens 4-1 as well. Ottawa takes on the Oilers tomorrow night. The Oil Stream pregame show gets going at 6:30 with your man, Tommy Hare, Matt Cassian, and Watiti. YouTube Trev. At the World Juniors, the final is set as the USA rallied from a 2-goal deficit to defeat Finland 3-2. Sweden managed to get by Czechia 5-2, setting up a Sweden-USA final today at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time. EST weather. Today, the forecast calls for mainly sunny skies with a high of -2 and a low of -8 as we begin the weekend. Currently, it is -8 with overcast conditions. I completely made that up. This sports update has been brought to you by Green Plan. I'm Jay Milne, and you're up to date.
Very nice. I added the weather. I can't remember if has Eric. He hasn't been doing weather. We used to do weather and traffic in the updates as well. We used to have Pauline Higgins, who was great. It'd be nice to have Pauline on the show or on the Hangout at one point. She's a lot of fun. She's great and excellent voice. She used to do the traffic, and then Eric, I think. There was a tie-in with CTV would do Josh Clausen weather, but it's good. We're at that time of year. Like, there's a little bit of snow and slick conditions out there on the road. So if you aren't aware, take a little bit of extra time to get to work today. Go slow. It's a little slippery out there. Or hit the snow option on your vehicle.
Dwayne got in on the nasty chat and
Yeah.
said, plenty of turnover in the NFL. How many teams are there? Don't just look at the main 6 to 10 teams. I get it. There is tons of turnover.
Yeah.
Lower down the roster. I'm talking your superstars. That's what we're talking about in the CFL
Got it.
aspect here
Yes.
as well. Is protect your superstars, keep them on. Tua Tagovailoa is not going to be traded from the Miami Dolphins. He's their franchise quarterback.
Right.
Protect that. Keep those guys around. That's what I was referring to. I understand that it's. I mean, we just talked about it earlier in the show. I mean, the average lifespan of a professional football player is 2 to 3 years max.
Yikes.
So, yes, there's going to be turnover. I'm talking your superstars and the people that drive the money and the dollars and cents of your league and sell jerseys like a Trey Ford could.
Lots of Trey Ford jerseys being sold late in the season, especially around Labor Day. I noticed I went and visited Hernan, the man Salas, the Latino Heat himself, and at the Elks offices, there were Trey Ford jerseys everywhere. Out the door they were going into the welcoming hands of Elks fans, and that was good to see. And Penner's Pancakes via the Nasty Chat says, I miss the 50,000 crowds at Commonwealth, just not the same now. No, it's not. Even when it was like 30,000, you could always rely on 30,000 being there. It's not the same. Obviously, this franchise has gone through a lot in the last 4 years. The name change didn't go over well. It's not going to go back to Eskimos. Get over it. And it pains me to say that, too, because I knew, loved, and appreciated that name as a kid growing up. Even as an adult, I was like, yeah, I like what it stands for. I know it. But it's not. They're not going to revert back to it. Even with the new ownership, when that gets done, it'll be the Elks. The colors are the same. The logo is generally the same. They still use the old logo as well. So that didn't help. The losing, the terrible seasons, being winless at home for, 22 in a row and multiple seasons. Their last win at home before the game against Ottawa this past season, their last win at home was like October 12th of 2019 against BC. Michael Riley and the BC Lions, like that organization now didn't do itself some favors, and then also external forces worked against it as well. And you know what? They're doing what they can to pick themselves up. They've got some great people over there. They brought back Rick Lawlisher, who'll stick around, and hopefully they revitalize it. And we can see 30+ thousand, and then hopefully in the big games like the Labor Day rematches, the Saskatchewan games, like Penner's Pancakes said in the Nasty Chat, 50,000 would be nice again to see it for some of those special games. Jay, those were fun.
I'd love to see that. That would
Yeah.
make my heart so happy because those were the best. I mean, I've said it before, like Friday night at a Elks game, upper deck, $5 beers,
Joaquin Gage slinging burgers.
And dogs.
And dogs.
Life's good. Spruce Grove Chad is in on the text line.
Tell me.
He says, agree, bringing in MBT, that's McLeod Bethel Thompson, a terrible idea. Unless they just give him 1 year, as Ford is still on his rookie deal. Edmonton does not want to piss off Ford, or he will move east when his deal is up, and then the Elks are back to chasing their home losing record again.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully he's a mentor or a... And you know what? McLeod Bethel Thompson, during his tenure in the CFL, wasn't necessarily the guy. Always.
No.
He would have these peaks and valleys.
He's not a superstar quarterback. Like,
He was good.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Protect this.
Trey Ford's the guy.
I don't know if he is, but right now he is.
Right now, he certainly deserves to be the guy.
Right? So protect that.
There's a couple texts I want to get. Joe Belineski via the Nasty Chat. Hello, Joe. Good morning. Says, MBT's wife is a movie/TV writer and executive producer. He doesn't need the money to play football. He left the CFL to go play down south to be closer to home and his child. Now, Joe, I did not know about the movie/TV writer part. Weren't they on strike for a while? Maybe that's why. Honey, go play Canadian football. Make a couple 100,000 for us.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
But that's a good tidbit, Joe. Thanks for that. And then Cap says football talk, double facepalm emoji. Cap, we've got the biggest college football game this weekend. He's wearing a Michigan hat. We're gonna talk with the national football writer.
You come down here and I'll hug you. I'll give you a hug.
Yeah.
Like I did Tommy yesterday.
We're
Sometimes we all need hugs.
We're on the cusp of the NFL playoffs. Of course there's football talk. Do you want to talk about Hugo Cece running 7 seconds down the ice? That's what you want? That's what you want, Cap?
That was a dog show last
That was
night.
the dog thing. Talk about the skills competition. It's important. It matters this much. You know what matters about the skills competition? That the kids who got to go for less than $200 a ticket had a great time. And by all accounts, they did, because that building was packed.
Sold out. That's
Fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw that Connor McDavid breakaway goal where he just showered the goalie with the...
Oh, that was Ben Scrivens in that, too.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know who it was because I didn't recognize the pads or anything.
Well,
so
Scrivdog was wearing his pads from like the 70s or 80s. Yeah. It was a very Andy Moog look.
Yeah, it was fun to see that.
Yeah.
And then the dogs. That's always fun. I mean, you
love
probably
it.
get to see a much more personal side of these guys. And, I mean, dogs are fantastic.
Yes.
Dogs, if you don't have a dog, get a dog. Go visit your local SPCA or shelter, rescue.
Yep.
Get a dog in your life. It's worth it. They always are happy. They love you unconditionally. They don't know if you've had a good day, a bad day, and they certainly have not had a bad day.
No.
Neither of my dogs have ever had a bad day.
That's good. The dog we got our parents came from a rescue spot, and she was from a puppy mill. She had some bad days, but now all she knows is love. So congratulations to Hugo Cece on winning the rough relay. Cap, if that's what you want to hear about. What about fastest skater? Ryan McLeod, 40.5 kilometers per hour. Vinny Desharnais, second, 40.2 kilometers per hour. Connor Brown, 39.6. He came in third.
Bangers.
Yeah, so, and then there was the bullseye battle. McDavid defeated Fogle 4-3. Then Nugent Hopkins beat Bouchard 4-1. Hyman beat Kane 4-2. Draisaitl beat Ekholm 4-1. In the semi, the Nuge beats McDavid 4-2. Draisaitl beats Hyman 4-1. The champion was Nugent Hopkins with a 4-2 win over Leon Draisaitl. The hardest shot for Cap, 102.9 miles per hour. So it was a big day in the CC household because they dominated the Order of Skills competition, which was for the kids.
Gordo on the text line says, hockey guy complaining about football in January? Get a life.
Cap, come on, man. Let's have
This
some
is
fun.
a
It's the weekend.
sports talk station.
Yeah.
There's already too much hockey talk already. Gordo, thank you for that text. We love you, and we love all the people that text in.
Appreciate you.
Vans, Vander Van.
Vans Van Vandervan.
If people want football to watch in the spring, they should try Australian rules football.
Ooh.
Super entertaining game, and you can pick whatever team you want to cheer for as long as it is not the Collingwood Magpies.
They're the worst.
Don't be a pie. Bad word. Rhymes with custard, but it starts with B. Don't cheer for the Collingwood Magpies.
According to Vans Van Vandervan.
I remember one time our friends were visiting.
Yep.
They lived here. Actually, I played football with him at U of A, Simon Pacey. And Lindsay, his wife, played basketball at the Pandas with my wife.
Right.
So we were always rolling together. They ended up moving to Australia.
Oh, wow.
And they went there. She pursued an opportunity actually with Lululemon. We were just talking about
Yeah, we were
Lululemon.
just talking about that.
So
off the air, yeah.
they went there, and then they would come back every year to visit because her family was still in Edmonton. So he got hooked on this Australian rules football. And we were watching it one night because it's always on at a funny time.
Of course.
So, you know,
Australia is a funny place in a
It's on
weird
the other
corner
side
of the world. Yeah.
it's like midnight, and this game comes on, and you know, he's like, "Oh, this is a big matchup," and so we ended up putting some money on it. And at his, you know, he said, "Oh, you gotta choose this team.
Can't be the Magpies, though.
It can't be those."
Vans Van Vandervan. He
Yeah,
knows his
can't be.
Aussie rules football.
And we cashed that ticket. It was awesome.
Made
It was
some shekels?
exhilarating. I don't still understand the rules.
That's fine.
I know you have to. It's like a rugby football combination. It's super aggressive though.
Rugby
Rugby is crazy.
Football is aggressive. Aussie rules football. Rugby sevens is really entertaining, I find.
Right. It's a faster game.
Yeah.
It's not as much rucking.
Rucking, yes. And I actually found myself watching the rugby sevens, men's and women's sides, at the Olympics. Like I was just like, this is great. Goes
Game.
quick.
Yeah.
Lots of scoring.
Shorter periods
Yeah.
or quarters or whatever they call them. I don't know.
I think it's quarters because there's only 7 per quarter. Anyway, it's a lot. It's a great sport. Obviously, has a huge following, but don't cheer for those Magpies if you're an Aussie rules football fan. What else?
Bob Loblaw
Yes.
and Lloyd.
Please.
Our last 3 dogs have come from the local shelter.
Yeah.
SPCA, now Border Paws. Absolutely wonderful animals, and they bring me so much joy to this house.
I love it.
It's true. Dogs are great. Cooper is our corgi.
Yeah.
He was
the
a
little legs.
It's just a little guy.
Yeah.
Just so cute. Except it's so we have a corgi and then we have a shepherd collie cross.
Okay.
Bingo. Big dog. He's a big softy though.
Did you
He's a
rename them when you got them?
sweetheart.
Or were they?
No, they were babies when we got them.
okay. They weren't. Were they rescues?
Bingo was.
Bingo was okay.
Cooper was not.
Yeah.
Cooper was a Christmas dog. So like literally out of the box, the girls opened it, and I have the funniest video. You know what? I'm going to tweet it after the show. I think my wife has it on her phone because she was videoing it. My youngest daughter, just the box was being unpacked, and she started just freaking out, and we thought it was like she's so excited, and then she just started crying, like
Joy, full tears,
full joy.
Yeah.
And my puppy, she said she couldn't continue. Like, I'll tweet it after, so watch for
love
that because it was just such a pure joy moment. It was amazing. Yeah. The only thing with the corgi though is they're little legs, right?
Yeah.
So, and we have horses. We're out on a acreage / funny farm, so we've got all the animals. We've got ducks, goats, horses. You name it.
Yeah.
Cats, dogs,
Sure.
children, all the above. But that corgi's so short that when he runs through the pasture, he's just running over horse crap, like continually. So he gets a lot of baths because he's just a little fella. So we got to keep him in. He's got to be in.
His name's Cooper.
Cooper the corgi.
Cooper the corgi. That's funny. Penny was a Christmas dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my brother's idea because my parents' dog Mia had passed away. She had a bad heart. Poor little thing.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. My mom, I remember going into that holiday season, let's call it, they were babysitting their friend's dog, and my mom was at the kitchen table, and my dad and I were watching football, and all I could hear is, "I had such a good time taking care of that dog. I miss Mia. I want another dog." And I was like, uh-oh, because my brother had already put the wheels in motion for the new dog. So I was like, okay, we're going to be all right. And then we took a video of our parents getting Penny
fun.
at Christmas. And all you can hear is my mom being like, oh, my God. She didn't cry like your daughter, but she was like super excited. Like, oh, my God, my brother's holding this scared little rescue dog from the shelter. And I had just gone through puppy mill for the first 4.5 weeks of her life. And then my dad's like, no, come on. No, what is this? And we're like, that's your dog, man. And he's like, not my dog.
Oh, no.
Guess what?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Best friends.
Best friends. That always happens. Oh, I don't want this dog. I don't want this cat. Next thing you know, you're in love with them, right?
Penny looks at my dad for approval on everything. Can I do this? You can pet me? Yep. Can I hop up?
Dogs
Nope.
are wonderful. Tube Socks is in on the Paris Jewelers inbox. He says, Bocephus, the amazing rescue dog.
I love it.
It's a great name.
I love it.
That's a great name.
Oh.
Jasmine came in and she
Hey,
said,
Jasmine.
actually laughed out loud when Lenny, that's the dog, that's McDavid's dog, right?
Yeah.
Turned around and left, considering he was McDavid's dog and thinking he would own it.
Oh, snap.
Also, Cece's dog was the oldest one at 9 years old. Wow. Shout out to old dogs.
Yeah.
My dog Kobe is 16. Wow.
Nice. Oh, wow.
Jasmine.
I hope Kobe's like in good health too.
Yeah.
Good job, Jasmine. That's tough. Mia was only 9 when she had a bad heart. Poor thing. So they burrow in,
Well, we got Cooper the Corgi at Christmas for a Christmas dog. And then a month later, our oldest dog had to be put down. So we had 3 dogs at one time. And Buddy had cancer.
They burrow into your hearts, man.
Yeah,
Doesn't take
it's
much.
Long day.
Yep.
Don't need to talk about that on Friday. You know what?
No, but
Let's have a conch for all the dogs out there.
for all the good dogs out there.
Good
the
dog.
boys
Good
and
boys.
girls.
Good
Yeah.
boys. YTT.
So Hugo Cece wins the rough relay. And that's all that matters about the Oilers skills competition. And great to see Jeff Delorier, Fernando Pizzani, and Ben Scrivens taking part. I like that they're incorporating the alumni and those guys. Great guys. Obviously, Ben and Fernando from the Edmonton area, and then JDD has fully embraced Edmonton, even after his time as an Oiler. Married a girl from here, and that is cool that they do that. So that's a great touch.
I wonder what
Well done,
Oilers fans would pay to see Dustin Schwartz go in the net for one of those.
Schwartz is a good guy.
He's a beauty. He's a
He's
U
great
of A guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's a U of A guy. Was he there when you were playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And did you guys mingle with the hockey team a lot?
Well, yeah.
You clearly mingled with the women's basketball team.
little too much.
Hey, now. Scott Edwards coming up,
Sorry,
U of A
sorry.
Pandas coach. But, you said April played Pandas basketball, right?
My wife
My wife.
played Pandas basketball, yes. And we did roll with the hockey team.
Okay.
It was the football, basketball, hockey.
Nice.
Wasn't the volleyball guys, sorry.
But they probably hung out with the volleyball
well, here's the thing,
Pandas,
like
which is just fine.
when basketball was in town, volleyball was always out of town.
Right.
Right?
Because there's
So-
only one sport that can use the gym.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the hockey guys, man, they were all. I've never had a bad experience with any of those guys that were at U of A because a lot of them came from the WHL.
Yep.
They were already a little bit older.
Yep.
And they were there for school. Like it was, they weren't, they'd be out and, the good old boys, but those
would
guys,
assume as much.
those guys were partying hard and working hard. They were great.
I respect that. And then a guy like Derek Ryan.
Yeah.
Who's a little bit after your time. I think he was U of A. I'm not looking at his profile, so I don't know.
I thought he was before me.
Well, he's 37.
No, he's after me then. Yeah.
Yeah, so he would have been like 05, I would assume. If he was 20,
Yeah, so
21.
I was there from 02 to 06. So we might have,
Just missed each other.
but he wouldn't have been going out.
Well, he's doing great with the Oilers, and they love him there. So it is a great program. All the athletes there do. That's important that they do take care of the school side of things. Like, were there a lot of athletes that flunked out? I would imagine no.
No, there was
There was?
for sure.
Damn.
I
I was trying to give them like.
No, but and we'll talk to Scott Edwards. Unfortunately, we have to do a basketball interview. Sorry. We'll talk to Scott Edwards about it, and that was one of my questions I was going to ask. Is because I know with the football side of things, that's definitely changing.
Yeah.
and that has changed. Where
It's under Chris Morris. Educator first,
yeah.
football coach second, kind of thing.
academics are now
Yep.
because there's benefit to it. Okay,
Right.
And I mentioned this on the Hangout before, but academic All-Canadians, because there's only so much scholarship money you can give out. Okay,
Good point.
It's got to be a fair playing field. So University of Saskatchewan, U of A, U of C, all these different schools, you could only give out, say, let's just choose a round number, $100 in scholarship money.
This is just an example.
This is just an
hypothetical.
example.
Yeah.
If you are an academic All-Canadian, your scholarship money does not come out against that $100. So if you have, like the Golden Bears football team, over 20 academic All-Canadians on scholarship,
Yeah.
you can almost double your scholarship contributions with private money. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so like, is that like alumni?
Say it's $100 cap.
Yeah.
Okay, you can use that for scholarship money. If you're an academic All-Canadian, your scholarship money does not go against that cap,
So that
which
encourages
means you can
to
give
be
more
good at school.
scholarship.
Right.
Right,
Gotcha.
which makes you more, I guess, worthy or of a destination for some of these recruits.
Yeah.
Yeah, true story. Bad Andy comes in on the text line on the Paris Jewelers inbox. Dog talk on a sports show? You're going to upset that other guy. I just got my first puppy in October. She's a 6-month-old. Wait for it. 85-pound.
Jeez.
English Mastiff. And so great. He even included a picture. What a beautiful puppy that is. Look at the size of the paws on that thing. Wow. That's
Love it.
85 pounds. I wonder what the top end of that weight is. Those are big dogs.
Mastiffs are huge.
Yeah.
Cap says, "Do you remember meeting me and my wife in the parkade at the Lucic signing?" Yes, I actually do. Hello, Cap. Good times. Welcome back. Let's dial down the saltiness. Nasty chat getting nasty. I'm kidding. Fireman Trev says, "When's Dusty and Lieutenant Eric back?" Well, Eric was supposed to be back this week. He's sick. Fireman Trev. Dusty just got back from Davos. He's good to go for Monday. So we're just getting by the bye week here. I am exhausted, but I love being here with the Nasties. So we're getting through this Friday edition of the Nielson Show. Myself, Tom Gazzola, Jay Milne, rocking it here in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. YouTube Trev, or what do you call him?
YTT?
YTT. Rocking it. And we do have Scott Edwards from the U of A Pandas basketball program joining us, head coach over there. He will get us up to speed on the Pandas, who did win the Canada West title last year. First time ever for the Pandas basketball program, which is great. So we'll catch up with Scott. Then we'll talk with Shehan Jeyarahan, the national college football writer for CBS Sports, about that CFP National Championship. The Huskies from Washington take it on the University of Michigan Wolverines. We've, of course, got kind of easy trivia and 3 questions too many coming up at 8 o'clock. Then Sobeys Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. We will get to some hockey talk. Don't worry. The Oilers taking on the Ottawa Senators tomorrow. The Sens losing to the Kraken last night. And also the NHL unveiling its 32 All-Stars. I think they still have a few to go. But the rosters, the initial rosters, have been unveiled. We'll get to that right after a sports rewind with the one and only Jay Milne, EST glue guy, filling in admirably as Eric is down for the count with illness and Dusty gets some much-needed rest. And they'll be back on Monday. Here we go.
Why, thank you, Tom. This Sports Rewind was brought to you by Universal Rewind, reminding you that regular motor maintenance will prevent costly downtime. Contact them today to learn more about their motor maintenance services. Choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind. Hit the music. Wait, there is none. The Edmonton Elks have released veteran defensive back Aaron Grimes. The 32-year-old Seattle native was a Grey Cup champion with the club in 2015 while being named an All-Star. He would go on to spend 2016 with the Philadelphia Eagles before returning to Edmonton the following year. Grimes played with the BC Lions in 2019 before returning to Edmonton once again in 2021. Busy night in the National Hockey League with 13 games on Thursday. Calgary doubled up Nashville 6-3. The Canucks fall 2-1 to the Blues. The Kings lose to Detroit 4-3 in a shootout. And the Golden Knights fall 4-1 to Florida. All spicy for the Oilers. And the Kraken defeat the Sens 4-1 as well. Ottawa takes on the Oilers tomorrow night. The Oil Stream pregame show gets going at 6:30 with the one, the only, the hair, Tom Gazzola, Matt Cassian, and YouTube Trev. At the World Juniors, the final is set as the U.S. rallied from a 2-goal deficit to defeat Finland 3-2. Sweden managed to get by Czechia 5-2, setting up a Sweden-USA final today at 11:30. Well, this weekend, the Bears and Pandas, both women's and men's basketball, will be hosting the McEwen Griffins Friday and Saturday night. And the Bears hockey is hosting Trinity Western both nights. And Bears volleyball and women's volleyball are both out of town at U of S. Both teams are hot, too. 9-3 for the men's.
Sexy?
10-2. No, I did not say that.
Oh, okay.
9-3 for the Bears volleyball, 10-2 for the women's volleyball. EST weather. Today, the forecast calls for mainly sunny skies with a high of -2 and a low of -8 overnight as we begin the weekend. Currently, it's -9 and overcast. This Sports Rewind was brought to you by Universal Rewind. I'm Jay Milne, and you're up to date.
7:02 in Edmonton. It is the Nielson Show, Friday edition of the program. Tom Gazzola in for Dusty. Jay Milne, EST glue guy, in for Lieutenant Eric. We thank you for being here with us heading into the weekend. It is the bye week, as Joaquin Gage likes to call it. Coming out of the holiday season, and everyone's kind of slowly getting back to work. The kids aren't really back to school. The university kids are, you said yesterday, Jay. So it's kind of that weird in-between week, and we're just getting through it. It's been a fun week. We've had some great guests, and we'll continue to do so. Today, YouTube Trev has been fantastic. That mustache is formidable, and we will catch up with Scott Edwards. He is the U of A Pandas basketball head coach, and we'll also touch base with Shehan Jeyarahan from CBS Sports. He is their national college football writer. And then at 8:20, the one and only Redbeard himself, Scott Laurie, stops by for the Sobeys Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week, which I am very much in need of at 8:20 on a Friday after what's been a busy week. Short staff here at EST. Eric, if you're wondering, I said it just before the reset and break. Eric is down for the count. He is dealing with whatever that nasty cold is going on that's catching a lot of people right now. And so hopefully LTE is ready to rock by Monday. And then Dusty just got back from Davos calling the Spengler Cup on TSN. If you didn't catch it, he did great work as always. So the boys are back. They should be, at least, on Monday. Of course, Awanik had shoulder surgery right before Christmas, so he's down on one arm. He's been in a sling all week, but we're making do as we roll along in what is kind of a weird week work-wise.
I actually slapped Awanik on the shoulder. Yes.
On the bad one? No.
Yeah, I did.
Poor guy.
I'm like, hey, buddy. Oh.
Whoopsies.
No, it's not that kind of pain now, I don't think. I think
it's just,
that's
he said some discomfort. I've never had a torn labrum, or maybe I did, but I never had shoulder surgery, so I don't know.
Ooh, tough guy, Tommy.
I've had knee surgery, though, and I've torn CL, ACL.
Yeah, I've never had any of that stuff, thankfully.
Cruciate ligaments?
You know what, though? I never stretched. Never. I didn't do pregame stretch. I didn't do anything in the warm-up. They called me Gumby.
All right.
I didn't do it.
Does it?
I have to now.
Okay. Well, it's good for you. Good help.
It's good to stay limber,
Yep.
for sure. Rob from LA, listening from Cancun.
All right.
As a father of a high school player, looking forward to the Pandas basketball chat.
Absolutely.
Right on, Rob.
That's something I think we're getting better at, and I think we're doing a better job than we did at 1260. We've had Kira Lyons on the hangout from the Nate women's basketball team. She's the head coach there. Obviously, you being a Bears alumni on the football side, we get some chatter on them, which is great. They had a fantastic season. And then now we're going to talk with Scott Edwards about those Pandas basketball players who've had a pretty solid season themselves, coming off Canada West Championship, first one ever last year for them. So we'll catch up with Scott right away here. And then, yes, we're going to get to some hockey talk right now. We'll get to your text. Hit us up at the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Of course, Paris Jewelers, locally family-owned business, 22 stores across Canada. Do not pay until 2025 with their flexible financing options. Shop in store or online at parisjewelers.com. Also give some love to A&W. They've got the spicy dill pickle promo going on right now. You can get the Buddy Burger for $3.99, or if you want a spicy dill pickle Mama Burger, it is $5.99 at all participating A&W locations. Jay Milne.
Making me hungry.
I need a beer. That's in an hour. All right.
I brought a banana.
I know, that's good for you.
Is
It's
it
good
totally
sustenance.
faux pas to just go ahead and eat this?
Not
right
on
now?
the air. Maybe in the next reset.
Okay.
Please and thank you. Save it.
Just no.
Why are you laughing?
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know. That's funny. You just said please and thank you. Don't eat the banana now.
All right. So All-Star roster, 32 players announced yesterday for the NHL All-Star game, which is happening in Toronto. All-Star Weekend will feature a revamped skills competition as well. and a lot of celebrity tie-in, and they're trying to jazz this bad boy up. So if you didn't catch it, the first 32 All-Stars were announced for the weekend. It's February 1st to 3rd All-Star weekend in the Big Smoke, as they like to call it. And then now the 2024 NHL All-Star fan vote is coming up, so you can get in on the action if you want to pick your next All-Star. Maybe there's a player on the Oilers. Maybe you want to see Evan Bouchard go, or maybe you think Stuart Skinner deserves to be there, or Leon Draisaitl. You can vote for those Oilers at NHL.com/vote or via X, in parentheses, the NHL says, formerly Twitter, and the NHL app. I'm going to go through the roster. This is, again, the initial 32. There will be 44 All-Stars in total, so it goes to the fan vote now for those final 12 All-Stars. Here we go. It's by alphabetical order because they're going to have like All-Star captains, and I think they're picking their teams this year as opposed to East-West or via division or anything like that. So Frankie Vetrano, Clayton Keller, David Pastrnak from the Bruins, Rasmus Dahlin from the Sabres, Elias Lindholm out of Calgary, Sebastian Aho, Carolina version, not Islanders version. Connor Bedard from Chicago gets the nod in his rookie year. Excellent to see. Nathan McKinnon having a monster year from Colorado. Boone Jenner, who would be great on the Oilers' third line, just saying, out of Columbus. They're having a terrible season. Jake Ottinger in goal. Alex DeBrincat from Detroit. Connor McDavid from the Oilers. Sam Reinhart having a sick season with the Florida Panthers. Former Oiler Cam Talbot out of L.A. gets his All-Star nod. Kirill Kaprizov, who's a little banged up right now, out of Minnesota. And then Nick Suzuki from Montreal. The other All-Stars, Philip Forsberg from Nashville, Jack Hughes from New Jersey, Matthew Barzal from the Islanders, Igor Shesterkin from the Rangers, Brady Tkachuk out of Ottawa, Travis Konechny, who we just saw here in Edmonton with the Philadelphia Flyers, Sidney Crosby, Tomas Hertl from San Jose, Oliver Bjorkstrand from Seattle, Robert Thomas out of St. Louis, Nikita Kucherov, who's leading the charge offensively in the NHL out of Tampa, Austin Matthews, of course, from the Maple Leafs, Quinn Hughes from Vancouver, great season for the young defenseman, and now Canucks captain, Jack Eichel from Vegas, Tom Wilson from Washington, and Connor Hellebuck out of Winnipeg. No Alex Ovechkin. He's not having the greatest offensive season. People are saying Father Time has caught up to Alex Ovechkin. However, he might be voted in.
Well, this is only the list of a representative from every team.
The initial 32.
Right. So Tay-Tay's in on the Paris Jewelers inbox saying, how is Nylander not an All-Star? Well, I'm sure he will be.
Yeah, I feel like there will be a skew towards a couple extra Maple Leafs.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on here. You only have one representative from each team. I'm just going to say this. Does anybody care about the All-Star game? Like, I mean, I guess the skills competition is cool. Is the skills competition better than the actual product?
They changed the skills competition again this year.
Of course they did, because it just didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just definitely coming out as the old crotchety, old school guy here. But what do they now have to bang it off 30 of those rebounders, and
it got too shticky. You know what I mean? Like, I did like what they did in Vegas. Like, they shut down parts of the Strip. They were on the Bellagio fountains. The guys with the fountains going were trying to.
That's sticky.
It was
gimmicky.
Good though. It was good. But then they went to Florida last year, and I think they were in Fort Lauderdale, and they were on the beach, and they had like these surfboards, and the guys had to shoot the pucks to knock the surfboard.
Boo.
And I can't remember was it Sorokin that was in net at the All-Star game, but during the competition they made the goalies try to knock the surfboards down, and he hit the same one like 3 times. It wouldn't fall over, and it wasn't like he was hitting it light, like he was peppering this thing. So it like kind of didn't work, and then they had that awkward introduction for the skills competition with PK Subban, and it was cool when they brought Roberto Luongo, but it's more spectacle than anything. And then so this year at the skills, Jay, $1 million on the line, only 12 guys competing, and then the goalies, I don't know, they get the short end of the stick. I don't think they get in on that money. I don't know. You tell us, 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox, or via the nasty chat. Like,
Well, Tube Sock says it sums it up on the inbox here. He says, "I wouldn't say that I care in parentheses about the All-Star game, yet I always watch it." Right?
He's a fan of the game
I think that's
or of the sport.
I think that's kind of the general sentiment. What was the problem with having all of them in one rink doing the fastest skater, hardest shot breakaway competition? It just seems like this. They're always trying to reach the next gimmick or the next, this will be cool on Instagram, or this will be awesome on Twitter. I don't know. That's just me. But, I don't get the like you said, the shtick of a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then putting $1 million on it, it's kind of a slap in the face to the regular fan, don't you think? Like these guys really need, they need to be motivated by money to show up. I've heard the take, and I kind of, I've seen it on the Nasty Chat. For most of the guys in the league, this is a week off.
Yep.
And for the
is.
superstars of the league,
More
they gotta go and work. So
That's how they see it.
right.
Yep.
So they're now gonna put up $1 million.
Well, two, considering $1 million for the skills now, and then another $1 million for the game itself, which is basically a collection of mini games.
Right. So, chime in. Do you think that that's a good look, bad look? Is that okay? I know they do it in other sports. Like they awarded the Lakers, what was it, $500,000 to each player, but that was the in-season tournament.
In-season. Yeah, what did they call that? The NBA.
In-season tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they gave the trophy a name.
I'm not sure. At the NFL Pro Bowl, do they award money there?
I'm pretty sure they do. And now
Yeah.
it's, you want to talk about like
Gimmicky?
it's the Pro Bowl
Just
game,
end
second
it.
time.
Flag football?
Well, we were joking with Rappaport yesterday about that. He's like, I don't watch it,
No.
but it's great. It's for the kids.
Well, yeah, but they used to have like Darryl Green racing Herschel Walker,
That's cool.
right? Sean Taylor made one of the biggest hits in football in a Pro Bowl. Like back when it
Was
was
it the only hit ever at a Pro Bowl?
No, I mean those guys. I mean that was entertaining, and I guess yes, they do put money on it. So maybe it's just me not understanding that correctly. I don't know. I don't know that the players need to be motivated by that, but maybe that is exactly what they need to show up and put in the effort.
Having covered a handful of those and being there, I could tell you firsthand that those players generally, I would say 85%, don't care to be there.
Sure.
It's a chore to them. And there was a time, and I think it ended probably in the late 90s, like just after, I think there was a couple of good All-Star games. There was one in Toronto in like 2000, and then a couple more after that. But right around that lockout, 04, 05, that's where I think like the good All-Star game era died. And the way it was approached was changed from a player's standpoint. But for a long time, and this was a long time ago now, that was a great game. No, they didn't blow each other up with hits, but guys took it they're serious about it to a certain extent, right? Like there was a panache to it, there was a prestige to it. That's gone, completely gone. And yes, you need to dangle a lot of money in front of them to get them to go, okay, fine, I could win $80,000 by playing in, a couple of mini games, and because they split that $1 million for the teams, and then I could win another, few $100,000 if I win the All-Star skills competition, because whoever wins that's probably gonna split it up with a bunch of people, obviously. So yeah, okay, I guess I'll go, but I don't want to because my girlfriend or my wife wanted to go to Cabo instead, and that's what's gonna happen with a lot of these guys. Last year, Jack Campbell, great guy. Smitty the welder always says, I hate Jack Campbell. I don't. I had a great conversation with him. What are you doing for All-Star weekend? He's like, well, we got a lot of time off. My wife and I are going to go scout our wedding location in Cabo.
Right.
He had a great time.
Let's just face it. The whole thing's about money.
Yes.
The league generates money from it, so they're dishing some of that out.
Corporate
it's
back
in Toronto.
scratching. It's in Toronto. They're going to have like Drake and Bieber,
Yeah.
probably Ryan Reynolds maybe. I'm sure Max from the Arkells will wind up there somehow.
How has it not been in Edmonton yet?
They're working on it.
Like, wasn't
it will be. Like, before 2030, I think.
But how old's Toronto's? Like, Edmonton's rink is relatively brand new in the grand scheme of things.
7 years old now.
Yeah, but how old's Toronto's rink?
26.
Right. So why
25?
isn't that the model? Is they usually go to these new arenas?
Yes.
Not here.
Toronto's Toronto, man. We just had a Heritage Classic too. That was here. You get one of these. They do it like that, but yeah, there is a plan in place, or the league and the Oilers have been working on an All-Star game or a draft. One or the other. The league does a great job with these events, and the kids love it. It's fun. We might roll our eyes when we watch it on TV. We might get bored watching day 2 of the NHL draft, but they actually, when you're there, they do a great job with it. I give them credit.
Sickler's in on the Paris Jewelers inbox. Hit us up at 780-218-9999. This is definitely getting some traction. Okay, there's people that are definitely feeling one way about it or another. Sickler comes in and says, totally agree with Tommy. The All-Star games have lost their authenticity across the board, all sports. The NHL All-Star Weekend is just one big corporate sponsor schmooze event. This is coming in from Hampton Steve.
Hampton Steve's right.
Unless a player has a bonus for being named an All-Star, I completely understand players not wanting to press the flesh, and rather spending time on a beach. Chris Sadaway comes in and said they've been waiting for Ice District to be completed first, I have heard.
That's correct, but for the most part, it's done. Now, Phase 2 is supposed to get going. I think there was supposed to be another tower built where the Oilers store is on that side.
Right.
There was supposed to be another one. I don't know where that's at, but for the most part, it's ready to host. But I think they want to start Phase 2, I'm assuming.
That's what Dan Tilley says in the nasty chat as well. The district around Rogers wasn't finished. It's been a construction zone until 2 years ago.
True.
So,
I live right by that.
So then, by all accounts, then we should be seeing it within the next 2-3 years?
I think before 2030, because it sounds like we've been talking about the World Cup of Hockey, whatever the iteration of it might take away the All-Star game next season, and then you've got the Olympics coming up as well. So we might not see the All-Star game for a couple of seasons. There's going to be a couple of years with no All-Star. So that's why I say before 2030 is my guess.
Pat Janek's nasty chat. NBA All-Star is the best. I agree.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Dunk competition's cool. The 3-point thing. And those guys.
Well, it's not like they have guys out in the parking lot shooting, court-long shots. They've kept to the basics, right?
Yeah,
they still have the dunk competition. The 3-point competition is outstanding.
Yeah.
Now they have a dribbling and passing feature, which is cool. But that's the honey hole, is the dunk contest, is the 3-point contest, right? That's what people want to see.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think Cap needs a hug.
Is Cap okay? Why? What's wrong?
Cap, he says, a draft in Edmonton would be embarrassing. Who wants to come to this city?
Hey, Cap. It's a good city.
It's a great city. City I call my working home.
You know what? It's funny. We dog on our own city. I think it's a Albertan mentality. I think it's a Edmonton thing where we kind of get our backs up when we talk about our own city. I traveled the National Hockey League. Like, I remember I was one of those people too. I was like, I'm from Edmonton. That's okay. I don't know, man. Cold. And then I started going around the league, and I was like, wow, San Jose's not that nice. Detroit sucks. Buffalo's awful. Columbus isn't great, although Ohio State's a lot of fun.
Sure. Campus.
Like Raleigh, North Carolina. Sorry, Jocelyn, but Raleigh's like not a lot of fun. Yeah, it was like Cleveland. Yikes. Cincinnati.
I've heard Cleveland's like surprisingly cool.
I didn't think it was great.
Okay.
Baltimore's scary. DC can be scary, although the history there is amazing.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I lived in Oklahoma City briefly. I'm like, Edmonton's not that bad. And we naturally just kind of go, I'm from Edmonton. No, we've got a good thing here.
I frequent Calgary a lot because my in-laws are down
Calgary's
there.
very much like Edmonton. I know people here go, "Wow, Calgary's better." No,
I actually
it's the
think
same damn
Edmonton
city.
is a much better laid out, or much. I don't know. The River Valley in Edmonton is one of a kind, right? The downtown now is rejuvenated, right? You're not. It used to be when I was in university, you didn't cross the river. You didn't need to.
Right.
Now there's so much going on. Ice District has worked out to a T.
It's been good.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming in on the nasty chat. I lived in Calgary. This is IC or LC_YEG. I lived in Calgary for 14 years and I'm thrilled to be back here. It's an amazing city. Oily Sink. I like Edmonton, Cap. I enjoy any trip I get to take there. Hey, Cap. I was transferred here from Victoria in 2007. I couldn't wait to get to Edmonton, and I'm not leaving. This is a great city. That's for me and Ferguson.
Fergie's prostate. Good morning. Yeah, so it was an eye opener because I was just in Edmonton again. So I think a lot of people can appreciate it. Do we have problems? Yeah, absolutely. Of course we do.
Who doesn't? What city doesn't?
That's right. Anyway, I think any league event, like we just saw with the Heritage Classic, whenever you get to host, it's an honor, it's a pleasure, and it's neat to see the spotlight on the city. And you know what? I think people like the Heritage Classic, that Wednesday through Sunday, was it Saturday or Sunday, was awesome. The event, like the weather, the fans, people were having a great time. So, yeah, probably get an All-Star game or a draft, and my guess is before 2030. Keep those texts coming in via the Nasty Chat or the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Coming up next, we've got Scott Edwards, U of A Pandas basketball coach. He'll be joining us right away here. Trev is getting that all set up, and if you've got any questions or you want to rekindle, reminisce old memories of the glory days of the U of A athletics, like Jay tends to do from,
Glory days.
Glory days, yeah. So Scott Edwards joining us now, U of A Pandas basketball coach. Good morning, Scott. Thanks for joining us. Listen, you guys are taking on the McEwen Griffins at Saville Center coming up here. It should be a big game. It's been a good season so far, coming off a really, really good season last year, winning that Canada West title. Just give us the scoop on your team thus far this season if anybody wants to head down to the Saville Center and check out your game.
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me on this morning. Yeah, it's been a really fun season. You're right, coming off that big Canada West Championship last year and a good run at Nationals, returned most of the team, and we had a good start to the year. We had a very intentionally difficult preseason.
Nice.
Maybe too difficult. Made it tough on us just to see where we were going to be. Tried to play as many of the best teams in the country, teams we thought might make it to Edmonton for the national championships in March, and so it made it tough on ourselves. But I think we came through that pretty good, and they're playing pretty well, and just looking forward to getting started again. It's been a long time since we were on the floor.
Scott Edwards, Jay Milne here, Edmonton Sports Talk. How are you?
I'm well, Jay.
U of A guys.
Oh, just chums.
I know. It's awesome.
Chums.
Anytime we get together.
Every time. So both teams, the men's and women's basketball, are somewhat sitting middle of the pack here. I'm assuming this weekend is a chance to bump these results up, as both McEwen teams are winless this season. How many fifth-year players do you currently have, Scott?
Yeah, we just have two starters. Jenna Harp and Shea McCusker are two fifth years this year.
And are either of them your Caitlin Clark?
I don't know if anyone in our league is a Caitlin Clark, but I think we lost our Caitlin Clark last year. Emma Carey graduated. She was kind of our similar player to Caitlin, and I think Jenna's kind of led us in scoring all year, and been the one that stepped up. She had a really great run at the national championships last year, and being an all-star at that tournament, and it sort of led us in scoring and just carried the load for us this season so far.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that the common sports fan or Edmonton fan would appreciate or know about Golden Bears and Pandas athletics is the fact that you have players that commit to the program for 5 years. It's not as Scott mentioned, there's two players on the roster currently, and that is quite an accomplishment to have that, get your Block A sweater. It's a big thing, and it should be celebrated as I know you guys always do in the last regular season of the year. Scott, I've been talking about the football side of things with around here with these guys anyhow, and how that seems to have changed quite a bit, obviously, since I was there. I mean, a lot of things have changed, but over the past 5 to 10 years, there's been much more of a shift towards focusing on the academic side of things as well as the athletics. Is that going on throughout all of the athletics, and specifically in basketball at Saville Center? Is there more resources for these student athletes to focus on their studying, their grades, all that?
Yeah, it's a great point. I think there's been so much behind the scenes infrastructure put in that I don't think fans, if you come to our games or you went to a football game or come to Saville Center this weekend to watch us play, you wouldn't see a lot of money putting into like the game. It doesn't look like that too much different, but the money behind the scenes in terms of strength and conditioning, in terms of nutritional options for the athletes, in terms of just infrastructure to make their lives as athletes easier so they can study and put more into it. I think that's been there, and that's been really fun to see from a coaching perspective. And we're seeing some results in that. I mean, we just finished getting our grades for first term, and just phenomenal performances by our athletes. I'm really proud of them. And just seeing what they do on a week-to-week basis, the amount of work they have to put in academically, and then come to practice and travel and everything that they got to do. They're quite impressive people. And the more Edmontonians can get out and support these kids, because they're going to be employees for you in the future, right? They're going to be the people in our community, hopefully even running their own companies one day and contributing back to our community, because a lot of Golden Bears and Pandas stay in the city and they contribute back. And you're seeing leaders in our community in the future.
Yeah, that's an outstanding point, because they do generally stay around here, and they do give back to the community, and they do support Golden Bears and Pandas athletics. So that's a great point, Scott. Another question I have, and are players playing at a higher skill level mentally, physically? It seems like there's a lot more focused training going on, be it specifically for basketball or multi-sport athletes. Is that something, I guess for you in recruiting, what do you look for in an athlete to be considered for your program?
No, that's great. I think the modern athlete, I mean, they just have so many more opportunities. I think almost to a fault too much that they really can focus on their one sport. I think, when we were kids, I think we played everything, and probably not good at any of it, but my case anyway, but played everything. But I think the athletes now, they're more consumed and focused on their individual sports that they found passion for early. And so they're really, really focused on that. And I think the quality of the off-court training has improved so much at a younger age that these athletes are coming into university just more prepared to do their jobs for an athlete. And so, I'm looking for athletes when I go in the high school system, or I see junior high and high school players around here or throughout the province or Western Canada, which is predominantly where we've recruited from. I mean, they have to love the game to do this. For 5 years, like I said, about being a university player. Like, we're talking with our rookies this week. They've practiced, and I talked to a high school coach. We've practiced in the first term double the amount they would have in high school.
Wow!
And we've played half the games that they would have in high school.
Crazy. So
you have to love the game enough to just want to play it on a daily basis without the juice of that nightly game, right? Like high school tournament, if you see high school basketball starting up next week, they'll play a couple of high school conference games, and then they go to a tournament on the weekend. So they're playing on average 4 to 5 games a week for the next couple of months, where our kids are practicing 4 or 5 days a week and playing twice. And so we're really trying to figure out about the athletes. I mean, there's some obvious things that they need to have with size and athleticism and jumping skills, and obviously they can shoot the ball. But there's a bunch of intangibles that go into whether or not you can handle being a university player that are really fun to figure out, and fun for the athletes to figure out if they can really do this and want to do it. And beyond that, they just absolutely have to enjoy school. So
well, yeah,
you can. you have to be reminded that this isn't just basketball for fun. You've got to really enjoy school to do this at a high level.
That's kind of a big one,
Yeah,
you know, and that's
Kind of
something
a
that
big one, yeah.
is, I don't know if it's appreciated enough, is that not only are you going and playing at the highest level of basketball in Western Canada or Canada, you are now going to one of the finest academic institutions in all of Canada, and you have to do all of this at a very high level. So you're right, Scott. I don't know that that's appreciated as much as you certainly give it credit for. Let's talk now about, you know, currently and where we're at in the Canada West season. Obviously, you got MacEwan coming up for a doubleheader this weekend, and like I said, it looks like it's favorable for the Pandas and the Bears. Who do you think right now in Canada West is the big dog? Who's the lead dog? Who do you think, you know, you guys could see as you are hosting the national championship? Who do you think is going to be there from Canada West as well?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting stretch. I mean, MacEwan's interesting. Like, on paper, you're right. They haven't won a basketball game yet this year, but this is an intercity rivalry games, and they play us so well just because the kids know each other so well. They play in the summer times and play against each other in high school. There's no mystery between anybody, and so these games are always very, very competitive, and I look forward to this weekend ahead and as we get started again. I think at the moment probably Saskatchewan's probably the top dog, so speaking. They are the Huskies, so top dog in our league, and damn Huskies, yeah, they got us to start the year, and it was a great series, a great opener for our city to see what nationals would look like. Two really good basketball teams played at a high level, and I think those guys in Fraser Valley out of BC seem to be the top two teams in the league right now, and we're trying to find a way to catch them. And we play Fraser in about 2 weeks' time, so that'll be a good indicator for us where we're headed. And it is a lot of fun having this season where we're a pretty good team and we're ranked fairly high, but we're also knowing we're going to be at the national championships. There's a lot of just kind of see what we can be throughout the year and try some things out, try some different lineups, try practice some things we think are going to have to work by the time we play at the national championship, and try to get us as confident as we can heading towards March.
I can't wait. That is going to be such an electric atmosphere, as you know, inside that arena at Saville. It's going to be packed. It's going to be loud, and I'm surely looking forward to it. Scott, we really appreciate you coming on this morning. I do have one last question for you, okay? And this one, this is just it's a me question, all right? We're just me and you. We're just talking here, okay?
Yeah.
Nobody else is listening. It's just you and I, Scott. Who do you know, or do you know anybody that you can talk to, that you can put in a good word and find I don't know, $500,000 somewhere in that Saville Center where they can build a parkade? Please. Please.
Pampered.
Please.
I know.
The parking there. Oh my gosh.
That's a problem, yeah. It's been a problem since we opened. I don't know how it'll ever get fixed. I appreciate everyone that chooses to come down there and come support our teams, because I understand the frustration of coming to get just even parking to get to the games. But yeah, we really appreciate all the fans, but it is something we need to get fixed. I agree with you, Jay.
Maybe when I see Ian Reed this weekend down there, I'll turn him upside down and shake him upside down and see what falls out, and if we can contribute that to the parkade fund.
I'll help you pick him up.
Scott, thanks for the time. Good luck tonight against the MacEwan Griffins. Appreciate it, and hopefully it's a great rest of your season on another run to the Nationals.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That is Scott Edwards, head coach of the U of A Pandas basketball team, and they take on the MacEwan Griffins tonight at Saville Center. Things get going because the Bears team will also take on the Griffins 6 o'clock at Saville Center. No parking garage.
Yeah, just get there early.
Great facility.
It is, and you know what? You can always hop on the LRT from other places to get there. There is a stop right outside. And actually, well, I'm not going to say because that's secret. I don't want to tell everybody.
You U of A people can keep it to yourselves like you do, I guess.
I literally parked in front of the Butterdome.
Yeah.
There was a loading zone.
Yeah.
Literally in front of the Butterdome. I literally parked there for 3 years.
While you were playing /
going to school.
Going to school.
I bet you I got $150 worth of tickets.
Did you pay them?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for parking right there?
That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Big thank you to Scott Edwards from the U of A Pandas
What a guy.
basketball team. Great
Lovely.
stuff. I love the banter between you guys. And go check out the Pandas and Bears tonight against McEwen at Saville Center. 6 o'clock. Things get going. There are some great U Sport action faux show. All right, time now to get to another sports update with Jay Milne. And when we return, we will have Shehan Jeyarahan from CBS Sports covering the National College Football Championships.
This sports update is brought to you by the staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki. Mitch has never had any bad ideas, only good ideas that go horribly wrong.
Brilliant.
The Edmonton Elks have released veteran defensive back Aaron Grimes. The 32-year-old Seattle native was a Grey Cup champion with the club in 2015 while being named an All-Star. He would go on to spend 2016 with the Philadelphia Eagles before returning to Edmonton the following year. Grimes played with the BC Lions in 2019 before returning to Edmonton once again in 2021. In other Elks news, TSN's Farhan Lalji is reporting that we could see the club release quarterback Taylor Cornelius from the roster. The 28-year-old Texas native will still be owed $100,000 in guaranteed money next season, regardless if he plays or not. Rumors are swirling that 2022 Grey Cup champion McLeod Bethel Thompson may be returning to the CFL with Edmonton. It was a busy night in the NHL with 13 games on Thursday. Calgary doubled up Nashville 6-3. The Canucks fall 2-1 to the Blues, and the Kings lose to Detroit 4-3 in a shootout. The Golden Knights also fall 4-1 to Florida, and the Kraken defeat the Sens 4-1. Ottawa is here tomorrow night, and the Oil Stream pregame show gets going at 6:30 with Tom Gazzola, Matt Cassian, and Watiti. That's YouTube Trev. At the World Juniors, the final is set as the U.S. of A. rallied from a 2-goal deficit to defeat Finland 3-2. Sweden managed to get by Czechia 5-2, setting up a Sweden-USA final. That's great for the host Sweden to be hosting the final, isn't it?
Yeah, they've gotten some favorable calls, though. That one against the Switzerland.
I don't
where
care.
That was,
Give it to them. I hope they win, too.
I don't like it.
That's today at 11:30 Mountain Time. EST weather. Today, the forecast calls for mainly sunny skies with a high of -2 and a low of -8 overnight as we begin the weekend. Currently, it is -7 degrees with overcast conditions. This sports update was brought to you by Park Mazda. I'm Jay Milne, and you're up to date.
Nicely done, Jay Milne. A couple of texts come in via the Nasty Chat. Says, and it's from Joe Belinaski. Says, I like the Jay thinks a parkade only costs $500,000. Laughing my butt off. And Zedmo says, we got some snow overnight, starting to look a little bit like Christmas. Yeah.
A skiff, I believe that's called.
A skiff of snow.
And Joe, I'm not in construction. I don't know. It was just a figure of speech. Come on. We're buddies. We're dudes. We're boys.
We're dudes. You're listening to the Nielson Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk, Friday edition of the program. As always, hit us up via the Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999 or in the Nasty Chat if you're watching us on the EST YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, please, and thank you as we wrap up the bye week, as Joaquin Gage calls it, on EST. Dusty and Eric back on Monday, and then I can go back to doing the Hangout and just the Oil Stream. That would be lovely. We've got the Oil Stream coming at you tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Oilers taking on the Senators. Sens having an awful season. Lots of front office shuffling, new owner, new coach who's their old coach from the early 2000s. And so we'll have you set for the game tomorrow night, 8 p.m. face-off down at Ice District. Jay's doing great work. I think we're going to see more of you on the morning show, Jay.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah,
I'm down
absolutely.
for that kind of party.
Yes, we are. We're going to get
The morning, it is early.
It is early, right?
Say.
Yeah, that's right. And it's tough when you do an Oilers post-game show from a West Coast game that starts at 8:30 our time, doesn't wrap up till 11, then you're off the air at like 12:15, then you're back here for a morning show. Ugh.
Being Tom Gazzola is not easy.
It is, actually. It's a lot of fun. All right, we're going to talk a little college football now. National championship coming up. It'll be Washington versus University of Michigan, and that's going to be a great game after an excellent weekend of semifinals action, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl. Lots of drama in both of those. And to discuss, we bring in National College Football writer for CBS Sports, Shehan Jeyarahan. Shehan, good morning, man. Thanks for joining us because You know what? You might not think Edmonton, Alberta, Canada is a NCAA football hotbed, but guess what, man? It is. And Jay and I are pumped up for this game. Give us the scoop heading into this one. What's the vibe like? Where are we at in terms of where Michigan being the favorites over Washington? Just set this one up for us.
Yeah, great question. And come on, I know Edmonton's a great sports city. I know that you guys do it right.
Yeah, see?
Exactly. Now, when I look at this game, this is a really interesting matchup. And the reason I say that is when you look at the past couple of national championships, they've been between not just some of the most talented teams in the country, but between like number 1 and number 2.
Right.
Like that's the last 3 national championships is the people who are right atop of the recruiting ratings every single year. This is not that kind of game. Michigan in team talent composite is number 14. Washington is number 26. No team outside of the top 10 has won a national championship since the ranking debuted in 2015. So these are 2 teams that are built very differently. For Michigan, I mean, they have obviously put together 3 great years of building identity, a physical run-based identity, really intense on the defensive side of the ball. They're able to get after the passer. They're able to stop the run. And for Washington, I mean, it's kind of the opposite in a lot of ways. They are super dynamic in the passing game, one of the best passing offenses I think you could say since that Joe Burrow team at LSU back in 2019. They've been that good. And, of course, they're not quite as adept in the run game. They are situationally very good on defense, but, they're weaker against the run than they are against the pass. Michigan's going to try to run all over them. So it's going to come down to a lot of strength on weakness, I think, and which team is able to handle themselves just a little bit better.
I think it's a great point. Strengths on weaknesses. And I mean, Michigan has the number 2 defense in the country. Washington has the number 1 passing offense in the country. Does Michigan have the defensive backs to cover and match up with these Huskies wide receivers?
Well, I think when you talk about Washington's group, I don't think that I think it might be impossible to fully man these guys up just because of how talented they are. A lot of teams have an NFL wide receiver. Some teams are lucky enough to have 2 NFL wide receivers. Washington's got 3. And the other thing, too, is they've got guys on their bench like Jeremy Bernard, who I think would easily start for Michigan as well, just because of how dynamic they are and just don't get the opportunity playing in this offense. So, the reality is I think that Michigan, they have a couple of really key guys. I mean, Will Johnson, we saw in the Ohio State game, he travels the field with Marvin Harrison Jr. He trailed him the entire time. I expect he might try to do that with Roma Dunze. I actually, this might be a hot take. I think Roma Dunze might be a tougher cover in college football than Marvin Harrison Jr. is. Obviously, he doesn't have the same reputation. Yeah, but I think he's just as good. He's a bigger guy. He's able to go up high and get the ball. So super tough matchup for any defensive back. And I think that after that, they'll try to maybe man some of these guys up, but then I think they'll also run a lot of maybe cover 2 to try to keep the game in front of them. So will they be able to totally take away this Washington offense? I don't necessarily think so. One of the things that you have to love about Michael Penix Jr. is there's a lot of guys who can throw the long ball, who can get after it, who can go downfield, but they don't have the patience to take what's underneath, right? We saw this adjustment for Patrick Mahomes in the NFL a little bit when he started seeing these 2 safety shells. Michael Penix Jr. will take whatever you give him. It does not matter if it's 3 yards downfield. It does not matter if it's 40 yards downfield. And that's what I think makes him one of the toughest mismatches that we've seen in college football in a little while. So I think Michigan's going to have some success. They're going to have much more success, of course, than I think Texas did last week. But will they be able to shut this unit down? I don't think so.
Now, do you think that Washington gets the credit they deserve? I don't feel as though, given that they're coming out of the Pac-12, which is now the Big Ten, or they're moving to the Big Ten, call it a Big Ten national final if you want now, but is there something to be said about that? Do the Huskies get their due credit?
I think you're absolutely on. I mean, so many people after the Sugar Bowl on Monday were like, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe what we just saw. And the answer is, if you've been watching Washington this year, you probably would believe a little bit more what you saw. I mean, this is a team that's been dynamic every single week. Now, they haven't been as good as they were against Texas every single week, but they outdueled Oregon twice, right? I mean, they played against a really good Oregon State team. They dropped bombs on USC. I mean, they are a really, really good team. And one of the things, especially in the conversation about Michael Penix Jr., that I think that gets lost is everybody just looks at his final line numbers. I mean, he had 430 yards passing. It was an incredible game from that perspective. But it's the little things for me that you have to watch the games to understand, whether it's evading pressure, the way he's able, there was a play where Texas essentially had 3 free rushers on him. He juked out and got back to the line of scrimmage and passed the ball. Like it's just, you can't quantify that sort of thing. That doesn't show up in a box score. The biggest play you could argue of Washington's season was Michael Penix Jr. pulling a handoff and handing it off to somebody else, right? This Washington team has been so excellent, and by the way, has the longest active winning streak in college football right now at 21 games, dating back to October of last year, including, by the way, 2 wins over Texas and 2 wins over Oregon over that stretch. I don't think that they got anywhere near enough credit. I think that if Washington was, based in Tennessee or was based in Ohio, I think they would have been talked about as a completely different animal. And frankly, as somebody who loves college football, that frustrates me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if they were in the SEC, this obviously would be a totally different story.
My God, would it ever be?
Now, we have to ask the question. We have to. The Michigan cheating scandal. Does it impact Michigan's title should they win on Monday night?
So, in the moment, absolutely not. I mean, look, the Connor Stallions guy doesn't work for the organization anymore. They will have won this title fair and square. I think that anybody who worried that that the cheating really impacted or changed what Michigan did in a significant way. Well, it's a good example, right? I mean, they went and beat Alabama for the first time in a very long time. They beat Ohio State anyway. They won the Big Ten championship game, and they'd have a win over Washington. So I wouldn't personally be all that concerned about, if I'm a Michigan player or something, about the perception of the title that way. Now, the question more is going to be, do we get into the NCAA coming in and vacating games, or I don't think they'd vacate a title. That's going to be the more interesting question. I really don't think that would be the case, especially, again, I mean, Michigan, as soon as this scandal came out, they acted pretty quickly, and the NCAA tends to look pretty fondly on that. And the other part of it, too, is that the NCAA has moved much more in a direction of trying not to punish people who didn't do anything wrong. And the players on this Michigan team, likely did not do anything to be part of this scandal. So I don't necessarily think that we're going to be in that situation, but I mean, again, this is such an unprecedented thing to try to manipulate the on-field product to this extent that, again, we're kind of in unprecedented times in some ways.
Well, Shehan, this has been a great conversation regarding the national final that's coming up on Monday. I know we'll all be excited. We're all going to be watching. Popcorn bowls are ready, and a few libations possibly.
Libations for sure.
Now, in closing, Michigan's a 4.5-point favorite. Who do you got?
I keep going back and forth on this game. This is going to be a really good matchup, and it's going to come down in a lot of ways to who can control the pace of play. Michigan is almost going to try to work like I don't know if you can say as much like a service academy team, but they're going to try to slow down this game, lean on the running game, even lean on the short passing game a little bit, keep the clock moving, and try to limit how many plays that Michael Penix Jr. can have. Now, here's the issue, is that if Washington comes out right away, and let's say 2 drives into the game is up 14-3, I think that strategy goes out the window. I think that Michigan potentially finds itself in some trouble. So it's going to come down to which team can impose their pace on the game, impose their will on the game. And I think that for me, I look at this Michigan running game, which has been very good, but it hasn't been the same kind of good that we've seen the last 2 years. They were down to 4.7 yards per carry from 5.7 last year. They averaged under 4 yards per carry against Alabama, and it was enough, but also Alabama made their lives just a little bit easier as well with their struggles on offense, which I don't think Washington's going to do. I think it ends up being Washington. I think it ends up being an incredibly close game. And, I've been going with the number 31-27. But if this ends up being exactly the opposite, it won't surprise me that much because this is as good, I think, a chess match as we're going to see in college football.
It's juicy. I love that take. Shehan Jeyarahan, man, thank you so much for the time, and I look forward to seeing the game on Monday. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy covering the game.
Thank you so much for having me.
There is National College Football writer for CBS Sports, Shehan Jeyarahan, going with the Huskies.
Hot take.
Hot take. I like it. I
think what he said is very accurate. It's going to come down to who can control the pace of play. If this is a shootout, I like his prediction of Washington winning. If it is a slow, drawn-out, calculated game where they can't let the horses at Washington run, Michigan wins. Like our dear friend, Matty Iwanek, one arm Iwanek, said, if this game goes over, I think that the total right now is about 55 points.
Okay.
If this game goes over, Washington wins. If this game's under, Michigan wins.
Who dictates the game and the pace gets the result.
I
Or
agree.
the type of stuff. Monday night, 5:30 p.m. our time. It is the CFP National Championship game. You can check it out. I think TSN's got it. And then, of course, that's happening down at Energy Stadium at Houston, in Houston. Should be a doozy. You got your Michigan Wolverines hat. You're ready to rock.
Yeah.
You versus Lucas Holt, Monday on the Hangout. Battle Royale for the full 2 hours.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Book it.
He's a diehard. I
know
do
he
have
is.
to give him credit. He's much more of a true fan than I am. My wife got me this hat because we
she's the
watched
best.
well, she is the best. But we watched the All In or whatever that is on Michigan football.
Yep.
On I think HBO or something like that, where they follow the team around for a season. Fell in love with Harbaugh. Like he's just a
What a weekend for the Harbaugh family.
Ravens. So I think if Michigan goes out and wins this, then I think Baltimore's going to go ahead and win the Super Bowl.
It's just the year of Harbaugh.
Book it.
Wow.
Did you see the interview that they did with Harbaugh's parents?
Yeah, they had his dad on there, right? And mom.
He looks exactly the same as
Of course.
his sons. They've aged well.
They have.
They've aged well. Gracefully.
Bones chimes in via the Paris Jewelers inbox, says there's so much turnover in college football. It's like every 4 years is a brand new team. Well played, Bones.
Well done.
You did it.
You did it.
You could say that about the Pandas basketball program as well. Although you said, and Scott was talking about, there's a couple of 5 years on there, right? 2?
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two they call them graduating players. Those are players who, because you can only play 5 years of CIS sport.
Is it U? It's U Sport.
U sport.
But it used to be CIS.
Forgive
Yeah.
me. So if you are on the travel roster for 3 consecutive years, you get what's called a Block A sweater. It's a very
That's what you were
prestigious
talking
sweater.
about. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a mundane, ill-fitting, straight wool sweater
Sweet.
that you get given to you that you are supposed to wear proudly around. I don't know that I've worn. I think I've
Did
worn
you
mine
get
a couple
one?
times.
You got one.
I got
right?
one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually, my wife and I have matching
Block A.
Block A
Are
sweaters.
they both the same size?
Yeah.
And you said they're ill-fitting?
They're terrible.
Don't put them in the dryer.
I'll bring it in one day. You can have a laugh.
Fantastic. Big thank you to Shehan Jeyarahan, National College Football writer for CBS Sports. We do need to get to Kinda Easy Trivia and 3 questions too many. If you want to play Kinda Easy Trivia, hit us up via the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Jay will be asking the questions. Do you want me to write them or do you want to write them? I'll write
You know I want you to write.
It'll be kind of easy or kind of Tommy trivia, I guess. But I'll make sure that we make it super easy to get that $25 GC to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, because it's the casualest place ever, and we want you to enjoy some of those delicious sirloin bites. So get in on that, 1-899-99 if you want to play kind of easy trivia. Also, for 3 questions too many, fire your questions our way, whether it's via the inbox or the nasty chat, which has been a bit salty today, actually. I would say the theme of today's nasty chat has been salty. Cap has been stirring it up. People have been on Cap. It was nice when people were talking about the dogs and their dogs and the huge dogs and the little dogs and the puppies, the Christmas dogs. But there's been some saltiness to the nasty chat. That's why it's nasty.
You're here.
Never change nasty chat. But 3 questions too many. Fire those our way. And then if you want to play kind of easy trivia, let YouTube Trev know via the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. We do have that $25 GC to Mr. Mike's up for grabs, and we want to give that out. It is the end of the holiday season for most of us, and we want to make sure that you get to enjoy it a little bit with a GC and get some steak in you. Or you could get the Mike's burger, like the classic Mike burger that Dusty Nielson grew up on.
Great burger.
Just solid.
Yeah.
This is really, really good. We do have Sobe Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week coming up with our dear friend Scott Laurie. He'll be joining us at around 8:20, and then we also will go around the sports world a couple more times as well as we head into a weekend where the Oilers will face the Ottawa Senators tomorrow night. And wrapping up a brief 2-game homestand, we will have the Oil Stream pregame show for you, 6:30 p.m. myself. Hopefully Cass is good to go. He's been fighting this nasty virus that's been going around. So too has Lieutenant Eric. Hopefully he's ready to rock for Monday's Nielsen show. Dusty will be back because he is getting a little bit of downtime over the holiday season. Of course, he was in Davos covering the Spengler Cup. So we've been making it work here at EST during this week, and I think we're getting through it just fine, and we're almost there. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's nice to have some fresh blood on the morning show. I'm not going to lie. Jay, you've done great work. Gager did excellent as well, and I think we'll probably be sprinkling you guys in there a little bit more if that's cool with you.
Fine with me if it's fine with YTT.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Obviously.
Obviously. Hit us up right now for kind of easy trivia if you want to play along, 780-218-9999. And then 3 questions too many. Anything you want answered. Maybe you have questions for Jay.
Jasmine
does. You want to know a little bit more about the EST glue guy.
We'll save Jasmine's question for 3 questions too many.
Perfect.
You'll get your answer, Jasmine.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're going to get to a sports update with Jay Milne and a quick refresh/restart, and then we'll get to kind of easy trivia. All right, Jay, take it away, pal.
All right, this sports update is brought to you by the staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki.
Did you find a good one?
Yeah, where the staff are more open than the jar of peanut butter on Mitch Lewicki's desk. The Edmonton Elks have released veteran defensive back Aaron Grimes. The 32-year-old Seattle native was a Grey Cup champion with the club in 2015 while being named an All-Star. He would go on to spend 2016 with the Philadelphia Eagles before returning to Edmonton the following year. Grimes played with the BC Lions in 2019 before returning to Edmonton once again in 2021, and he will be missed. Busy night in the NHL last night with 13 games. Calgary doubled up Nashville 6-3, and Oilers fans, pay attention. Calgary doubled up Nashville 6-3. The Canucks fall 2-1 to the Blues. The Kings lose to Detroit 4-3 in a shootout, and the Golden Knights fall 4-1 to Florida. Ding, 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 ding. And the Kraken defeat the Sens 4-1 as well. Ottawa comes into town tomorrow, and the Oilers take them on down at Rogers Place. The Oil Stream pregame show gets going at 6:30 with the main man Tom Gazzola, Matt Cassian, and YouTube Trev, otherwise known as YTT. At the World Juniors, the final is set as the US of A rallied from a 2-goal deficit to defeat Finland 3-2, and Sweden, the home team, managed to get by Czechia 5-2, setting up a Sweden-USA final today at 11:30 Mountain Time. EST weather. Today, the forecast calls for mainly sunny skies with a high of -2 and a low of -8 overnight as we begin the weekend. It's supposed to get cold next week, though, so keep your eye out. Currently, it is -7 with overcast conditions. This sports update has been brought to you by Park Mazda. I'm Jay Milne, and you're up to date.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as newborn 8-pound, 6-ounce Mitch Lewicki. You can picture grown-up Mitch, or teenage Mitch, or bearded Mitch, or whoever you want.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Hour number 3 of the Nielson Show. Tom Gazzola, Jay Milne with you as we get you into the weekend here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in. As always, if you're making your way to work this morning, take it a little bit slower on your commute. We did get a dusting, a skiff of some snow, some of the white stuff.
A skiff.
A little bit slippery out there, so travel safely. We don't want to see any fender benders or anybody get hurt, especially our lovely listeners and viewers. So be well out there. Take a few minutes extra to get to work safely or to school, wherever you're headed today. So we do have kind of easy trivia and 3 questions too many coming up here. Fire your questions our way for 3 questions too many. 780-218-9999. Kind of easy trivia coming up as well if you want to know anything about us. I see some questions coming in for Jay. I love it. Appreciate it. And let's get to kind of easy trivia. Who do we have on the line? YTT.
Yeah, YTT. He says it so quick. I love it.
Say it again.
YTT.
Oh, I like that.
YTT. Yeah, today we have Michael.
Michael. Good morning, Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent, pal. I'm very excited for the weekend. Are you ready to play kind of easy trivia with Jay?
Let's go, glue guy.
All right, it's $25 GC to Mr. Mike's on the line for Michael today. And Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. The Sirloin Bites to die for. Brand new location now in Fort Sask as well. Classic Mike Burger. Get it. It's Dusty's favorite. All right, Jay, take it away, pal.
Are you ready to go?
Let's do this.
True or false? The U of A Pandas basketball team is defending Canada West champions.
True.
Are the Oilers on a 6-game winning streak?
Yes.
Who will play in the World Junior Gold Medal game today?
Sweden and USA.
Did recently released defensive back Aaron Grimes win a Grey Cup with Edmonton in 2015?
Yes, he did.
Was Jay Milne the 2015 Canada West Rhythm Gymnastics champion or a DB for the Golden Bears football team?
Ooh, a DB for the Golden Bears football team.
Ding, 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 ding. We got a winner.
Let's play it. Michael, 5 for 5. I really thought you were the rhythm gymnastics champion of Canada West back in the day, but I guess I was wrong. You're just a DB for the Golden Bears.
You see me on the dance floor at the Armory on a Friday night, you might be confused too, Tom.
Great with the rhythm. Rhythm in the
rhythm
ball
in
thing.
the ribbon.
Like a true champion on the gymnastics floor. I'm kidding. You were a ferocious DB. Big thank you to Shehan Jeyarahan. And I should have said this earlier. That was brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Gift cards available now. They can be used in-store or online, and they don't expire ever. Located in Edmonton at St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave. Online at proamsports.ca. Tell them Tom sent you from EST and Jay sent you from EST, maybe even Dusty. Go say hi to Jack and Ken Cookson. Great guys. They can meet all your needs when it comes to Oilers stuff. I'm sure they got all the Elks stuff that your heart can desire, and we do some fun, nasty club stuff with them as well, where you can get some excellent deals. So that's Pro-Am Sports, our good friends and partners. Big thank you to them for supporting the program.
I think Michael was listening to the entire show thus far.
I think Michael's having a great Friday morning heading into what should be a fun weekend for sure.
Well, hey, $25, that gets you a lot of sirloin bites.
Sirloin bites.
They are lovely.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to we did kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many now, brought to you by the good folks at Park Mazda. Do you have one of those liners?
I do.
Yeah, fire one. Those are always great.
You know me,
fire
Tom.
one of those
I'm always
You've got
ready.
the line.
This is brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. They don't call him the DP for nothing.
Soapkirk says, way to come in and steal the show. Nicely done. Nicely done. Oily Sink, the first question for 3 questions too many. It's kind of a throwaway. Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right. Cap says, what time is the show until? Cap, settle down. Settle down. He's just stirring it up. But what do you want to get to?
Well, Cap had a question. He says, why does everybody hate me?
Because you're being a jerk. That easy. It's that easy. I'm going to say it. D. White, Texan, says, if Brown wasn't getting the 3+ mil bonus, would everyone still think he needs to go to Bakersfield? Great question. Probably yes, considering his lack of production. YouTube Trev, what's he at now? 3 points? 3 assists now?
I think, 3 points.
Yeah, no. So I think people would still be like, $1 million or less than. Still, set him down. He's done nothing. Oilers fans are tough to please. Have you noticed that?
Oh, I've noticed that.
YTT. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate. If you
why
produce,
do you make that argument?
If you produce, they're great. They're
Sure.
really good people.
There's no middle ground, really. Although the middle ground, I find, is quiet.
I think there's just a little bit more to the Connor Brown story, right? Obviously, the connection to Connor McDavid, the large sum of money, then agreeing to pay that when he played his 10th game, and he's still producing relatively nothing. Yeah, I would be hard on him too. He should. I bet he's feeling the pressure himself at this point. He must be. But he's not producing.
So. Yeah, I would
Plain
think
and simple.
so. Listen, maybe he can still be their Michael Pekka. It's not going particularly great. He was around it a little bit more. But, hey, we saw Dylan Holloway get sent down to Bakersfield, conditioning stint. We'll see how he is, see how that lower body injury has healed up, and then I'm sure we'll see him back up here. And then who knows, maybe Connor Brown gets going as well. One goes off his butt, Jay, and maybe everything turns around.
Hey, a lot of good things come off people's butts.
I guess so. Rip City Step says, the Armory, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. I'll say this. When you were at the U of A and not studying or on the football field, where was your go-to spot? Was it the Armory or was it somewhere else on White Ave?
The Armory was up there because I bartended there. A bunch of the guys were doormen there from the team.
Yep.
So that was definitely the place. Obviously, Rat Room at the top.
Rat? I like
in the
Rat.
student union building.
Yeah.
That was obviously a spot. We always used to go to. There was a place. Well, we used to go to Squires. That was in the basement below the billiard club.
Yep.
below Kion, or the Italian restaurant, they used to have like 10-cent wings on Wednesdays. Ooh,
Delicious.
Boy. We did a lot of damage there. It was like a mound of chicken wing bones by the end of it. I mean, 10-cent wings.
Guys, man. Look out.
Yeah, that was fun. Those were the days.
All right, this one from Bison Mask Guy. Good morning, pal. Good to hear from you. Says, morning, boys. I have Oilers questions for you. With the current Oilers lineup, are they more built for regular season hockey play than playoff hockey? Most importantly, the top 6. I think the 3 key ingredients in playoffs throughout your lineup are skill, speed, grit. With Condors playing back-to-back Friday, Saturday, they don't play until the following weekend. He's back by Monday, talking about Holloway there. Bison Mask Guy, yeah, are they built for playoffs? Yeah, these guys know how to play in the playoffs. Are they perfect? No. Are they looking to add to their roster? Yes, 100%. What are they looking to add? Yes, forward, third line center now. Or they need to decide. I was told they need to figure out where McLeod ends up. Is he a winger or is he going to go back to center? That's being, determined by him, dictated by him right now. He continues to play well in this, small segment of games where he's been on the left side with Leon Draisaitl. So that needs to run its course, and they need to see whether or not they need a winger or a centerman to bolster the forward unit. They probably want another defenseman. And then, of course, they're looking to see if they can upgrade the goaltending tandem. But the market for goaltenders sucks. And do not say Jake Allen. That's just my personal bias. But, yes, I think that they are built for the playoffs. And they need to add to be more playoff ready, especially in that bottom 6. And it would be nice to see another legit NHL defenseman on the roster as well. Bison Mask Guy. And then people have been asking about Jake Gensel. I talked about him yesterday on 2 Guys and a Goalie with Joaquin Gage. It was just a guy and a goalie because Cass has been down for the count all week long. They have not inquired about Jake Gensel to the Penguins, but if he were to become available, if the Penguins continue to have a rough season and look like they're on the outside looking in and are sellers, then obviously they would take a look. But the Oilers Brain Trust will be getting together soon, having meetings to decide how they want to attack the trade deadline and the stretch drive. But that's what I know about the Oilers and what I've heard and what I think. Bison Mask Guy, I appreciate it. All right, let's get to the final question for 3 questions too many, brought to you by the good folks and Mitch Lewicki at Park Mazda, and it's from Jasmine. I will ask you if that's cool.
Please, do it in a Jasmine voice.
I can't do a Jasmine voice. Jasmine is unique and wonderful, and I cannot replicate that. Jasmine asks, Jay, what did you study at the U of A, and why are you called Glue Guy? Is it a furniture inside joke? I'm picturing you gluing a sofa together. Ha ha, from Jasmine.
That's a good one. Well, Tom, you'll have to answer the second part of that question. But what did I study? Economics. I have a degree in economics and a minor in history. That is what I took, finished, got my degree. It's actually at my parents' house, oddly enough. And the reason I'm called the Glue Guy is because when I first started coming in here on the Hangout, I would just, I really just wanted to buy my way into this club. And so I just brought treats, pastries, charcuterie boards, coffees are always on me. And Tom came up with the idea. He said, you're kind of like that locker room glue guy, which every locker room.
That?
You did.
Oh, wow.
You coined that phrase.
Cool.
So it's kind of stuck. I love it. I got called at the grocery store, Glue Guy.
You did?
Like, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's never happened.
I love it.
Yeah. It's cool.
Great question.
Even when Dusty's kids came in here after the Christmas draft, I was introducing myself to them, and Tammy had asked, Marshall had said, Tammy said to Marshall, what's his name? And he said, Glue Guy.
Glue Guy. Yeah.
So you know you're doing well when Marshall's referring to you as Glue Guy.
Marshall and the Muzz are great. So is Tammy. Dusty back on Monday.
Lovely people. Thank you.
Great job. Great job. These last couple of shows. Fantastic work.
I love it. It's fun.
Excellent work with Kinda Easy Trivia. Congratulations to Michael. Picking up a $25 GC. Going 5 for 5 on Kinda Easy Trivia. $25 GC, of course, to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. And then good addition of 3 questions too many. Brought to you by Mitch Lewicki and the good folks at Park Mazda. Vance Van Vandervan chimes in via the Paris Jewelers inbox saying, does anybody else get the thought when eating wings that after 4, you've eaten 1 chicken? 10-cent wings means a 40-cent chicken. Farmers' profit margins on that's got to be thin.
Well, Vance, when I was saying 10-cent wings, I was talking about 2001. It
was a while ago.
2002. Now you go out, and I won't, slander any establishments by naming them, but you go to get a plate of wings now, it's $18.
It's unreal.
And it's like, I don't know, you get like, what, 10 wings?
Yeah, sometimes even less.
So that's an 1,800% markup from 2001, if you're going by that logic. Now, it may not be logic at all. Don't quote me. I'm just throwing out, somewhat random numbers. But, yeah, wing night is no long. Like, wing night used to be a thing. It was always Wednesdays.
Yes.
Right? There is one place, and I will shout them out because it is a national or a local treasure in Sherwood Park. Willie's Pub on off the Yellowhead. It's right by the trailer park.
Wow.
Yeah. They still do Wing Wednesday, and they are fantastic.
And the 10 cents?
They're
No,
not
it can't
10 cents, but it's like, you get $8,
Yeah.
and you get a pound of wings.
Nice.
Which is, hey, I'll that's reasonable.
Yep.
Right?
Now, if you want to treat yourself,
always,
but not spend $18 for a pound of wings, and you want something reasonable, but like good size wings, you go to Popeyes.
Popeyes, yeah.
5 flavors of wings now available: signature hot, honey garlic, honey barbecue, garlic parm, ghost pepper. $9.99, not $18.99. $9.99 for 6 big, delicious breaded wings.
Those will fill you up.
Exactly.
That one order will fill you up.
Wings. DoorDash, Skip, and Uber Eats if you don't want to go into a brick and mortar Popeyes location. They are our good partners and friends. Shout out to Furby. It is the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. What's up? What do you got?
Yeah, Jasmine came back in on the text, the inbox, and said, "Haha, thanks, Tommy. You my boy." And Jay has indicated he's basically rich. I don't know why I indicated that. I still look for 10-cent wings, and I have an economics degree. That does not mean I'm rich. I could do the numbers. You know what I am rich in? I'm rich in love.
And spirit.
In spirit.
That's why he was a champion gymnastics.
Can I be honest with you here?
Yes.
I'll be very honest with you.
Tell me.
My daughters have now got to the point where, especially my oldest daughter, Grace, where she now knows that some of her friends are rich.
Oh.
Or so she says. And I remember once she asked specifically, she said, "Are we rich?" And I said, "Yes, we are very rich in love, with family, with our animals," right? I mean that.
Yes.
Health is
that's
wealth,
a great
baby.
answer, but I
Yeah.
don't think she was looking for that.
Well, that's what you're going to get.
Daddy, am I getting an Audi on my 16th birthday? That's what she wants to know.
No. She's asked for, I have an old truck, Big Blue. It's
Nice.
a 93 Chev Silverado, long box, extended cab.
Classic. That's when they engineered them to perfection.
Two-tone. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beauty. It's beauty. She thinks she's going to have that when she's 16. I beg to differ.
Oh.
But there is something to be said about being rich in love. And Jasmine, I am rich in love. I am rich in spirit.
Yes.
I'm not as rich in hair as Tom or in facial hair as YTT.
He's just giggling. Every time you say it, he giggles.
But I am rich in love. I'm going to stick by that.
That's fantastic. Great answer.
If you had to choose one flavor of chicken wing, though, what are you going with? I mean, to me, it's simple. What?
Honey barbecue.
Really?
Yeah. Sweet and saucy.
YTT?
That's good. Honey barbecue is
With ranch.
solid.
Thank you.
I'm a big Thai chili, sweet chili kind of
Those
guy.
are great. It's a good choice.
Even just regular buffalo or hot wings, whatever you want to call them.
Signature hot at
Signature
Popeyes.
hot. Yeah, I definitely hot wings. Oh, they slap.
Yeah, I'm a hot wings guy.
Yeah.
They're banging, for sure. Ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch, for sure.
Yeah, ranch. I make fun of people who use blue cheese.
YTT.
It's weird stuff.
Okay, you know what's funny? I'm now a blue cheese guy. I crossed the line.
What happened to you?
I turned 40. I turned 42. I now like pale ales and a mild blue cheese. Can you believe it?
I guess.
I mean, a little bit of a hot wing in the... Well, okay. If you're going to go hot and you go hot honey, now we're talking.
There's something to be said about honey. Like, even like the
It's
hot
tacky
honey.
and it's sticky and ooey and gooey.
Like, there's some pizza now where they drizzle the hot honey
Yes.
on top, and it's just a great touch, for sure. For sure. We do have Scott Laurie stopping by, I think, soon for Sobeys Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week.
Shortly.
Where you at, old?
He should be here like
Red Beard?
usually at like 8:30.
8:30.
So he's got like 8 minutes.
All right, let's get to the inbox. Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Big weekend coming up. Oilers taking on the Senators. The Oilers did have their skills competition yesterday. Hugo Ceci, the rough relay champion. I think that was the highlight of the night for sure. And all the families and the kids getting a chance to see their heroes on the ice, having some fun, showing off their skills. And the Oilers will look to add 2 more points tomorrow night in pursuit of a wild card spot in the Western Conference. Seattle did win yesterday too, by the way, and they kind of leapfrogged the Oilers, but Seattle's played 4 more games than Edmonton. The Kraken have rattled off 6 straight wins, by the way.
Oh.
Joey Decord has been excellent for them, 8-0-2 in their last 10. Arizona has dropped 2, and they fall out of that second wild card spot. The Preds holding down the top wild card spot at 43 points through 39 games. The Oilers, meanwhile, 19-15-1. It's good for 39 points in 35 games. Of course, winners of 6 in a row, as Michael highlighted on Kinda Easy Trivia earlier today.
David Schneider on the Nasty Chat said, Jay is speaking like a farmer. Rich in assets, poor in cash flow. Norman at Combine, he tagged you in that. That's true. And Surveyor Brett chimes in on the Paris Jewelers inbox. There's Scott Laurie, the man, the myth, the legend, walks into the room.
He looks great. Look at that. Oh, hello, Scott. Delicious beer.
Surveyor Brett. And I will say thanks for the note, Surveyor Brett. I love it. Encouragement means a lot. This is not easy doing this, but I appreciate the kind words that you sent me. He said, Milne, you'll be rich when those EST stock options pay off.
Yes.
You got your options, right?
I started this.
I started those options.
Yeah. Dusty's the pillar. I'm just like a supporting piece. Like
Dusty's the gatekeeper to these options, is what you're saying? I'll have to talk.
The rest of us are just like his support system.
Right.
Emotional support. Yes. All right. You know what we're going to do? Keep those texts coming in, 218-9999. And the Nasty Chat, we're going to do a sports update.
We are.
And then we're going to do a reset. And old Redbeard himself, Mr. Scott Laurie, will join us for Sobeys Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. All right, Jay Milne, you ready to rock?
Well, we're going to do a sports rewind. We're going to kick it back to a sports rewind.
Sure.
It's brought to you by Universal Rewind, industrial electric motor sales and service, servicing many industries we rely on daily, from agriculture and aggregates to food processing and industrial manufacturing. Choose expertise, experience, quality. Choose Universal Rewind. Go see my buddy Brad Eves. He's over there. We went to high school together.
Nice.
The Edmonton Elks have released veteran defensive back Aaron Grimes. The 32-year-old Seattle native was a Grey Cup champion with the club in 2015 while being named an All-Star. He would go on to spend the 2016 season with the Philadelphia Eagles before returning to Edmonton the following year. Grimes played with the BC Lions in 2019 before returning to Edmonton once again in 2021. In other Elks news, TSN's Farhan Lalji is reporting that we could see the club release quarterback Taylor Cornelius from the roster. The 28-year-old Texas native will still be owed $100,000 in guaranteed money next season, regardless if he plays or not. Rumors are swirling that the 2022 Grey Cup champion McLeod Bethel Thompson may be returning to the CFL with Edmonton. It was a busy night in the NHL with 13 games on the schedule. Calgary doubled up Nashville 6-3. The Canucks fall 2-1 to the Blues. The Kings lost to Detroit 4-3 in a shootout. And the Golden Knights fall 4-1 to Florida, while the Kraken defeat the Sens 4-1. As well, Ottawa takes on the Oilers tomorrow night. The Oil Stream pregame show gets going at 6:30 with our main men, Tommy, Hair, Gazzola, Matt Cassian, and Watiti. At the World Juniors, the finals is set as the USA rallied from a 2-goal deficit to defeat Finland 3-2, and the home team, Sweden, managed to get by Czechia 5-2, setting up a Sweden-USA final today at 11:30 Mountain Time. EST weather. Today, the forecast calls for mainly sunny skies with a high of -2 and a low of -8 overnight as we begin the weekend. Currently, it is -7 with overcast conditions. This Sports Rewind was brought to you by Universal Rewind. My name is Jay Milne, Glue Guy, and you're up to date.
Said we could both get jobs and we could move to the city, 'cause there's something wrong with how we been living. We could both get on watching the lights from the limit, so we could both move on and finally try to get it right. Smoking pom-poms on the patio till dawn. Didn't matter where I came from, just as long as I showed up. But the moment it was known, we were never coming home. We were making the go. Didn't matter if we made it. Maybe it's me, maybe I've been wrong. Maybe it's you that's keeping me from breathing. Maybe it's me, maybe I've been wrong. Now she's a cherry bomb, never told that she was pretty. Didn't take too long to forget what I had given. When I swear she was from, she just lied, she just hid it. Feels like she doesn't belong with all the rest that glitters. Maybe it's me, maybe I've been wrong. Maybe it's you that's keeping me from breathing. Maybe it's me, maybe I've been wrong. Said you don't really wanna talk tonight. Just wanna let you know it'll be okay, it'll be alright. Said you don't really wanna talk tonight. Just wanna let you know it'll be okay, it'll be alright. Maybe it's me, maybe I've been wrong. Maybe it's you that's keeping me from breathing. Maybe it's me, maybe I've been wrong.
30 in Edmonton. That was Whale in the Wolf as we reset and get old Redbeard in here. Scott Laurie from Soapy Safeway Liquor as we get to Beer of the Week. I didn't know that YTT did this pose for the camera. That's your thing, huh? Yeah. That's your. You don't have. I know you don't have your mic, but you're very proud over there.
Well, they're asking for more.
Do you want to do it? No.
Can you do it live?
again.
Yeah, do it now.
One
Put
more
it to the
time.
wide shot.
Yeah,
Come on.
You stay in that corner. It's a Friday thing. Also, the debate.
Yes.
The wing debate, flats or drums, the prices over the years. I mean, we can't bring you on. Happy New Year, by the way. We can't bring you on.
Happy New Year.
And start talking about Beer of the Week without one of the most crucial elements that goes hand in hand with beer.
Right.
And that's chicken wings.
Yeah.
Where do you come out on flats versus drums, flavor, ranch, blue cheese? And where was your go-to spot back in the day when wings weren't $18.99 at a lot of places? Not at Popeyes, though.
Not at Popeyes.
Just give us the Scott Laurie history with wings.
I'm on record as being a flats guy.
And that's fine.
Before, and that's kind of the way I go.
I'm with you, dog. I'm with you.
For flavor, I'm going to go, I like a salt and pepper wing with a side of hot sauce and a side of ranch. So I can control my heat. I don't get it all over my hands.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper usually is a bit of a drier wing.
It's salt and pepper wing.
Yeah. Hot.
Preferably a flat into the hot.
Into the ranch.
And then a little dollop.
Just a tickle.
Every bite or just the first bite?
You could change it up.
Yeah, a little mixture.
You could change it up.
Depends. If I've got a little lingering ranch, I might skip the ranch on the second bite. But
okay.
But
Old Redbeard's been around a chicken wing or two, I can tell.
One or two for
Yes,
sure. And
sir.
I have had those. Squires was also a popular spot for me in my
Oh,
university days.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Stonehouse was another good one.
Beautiful.
I remember Stonehouse.
Yeah, I met my wife at Stonehouse. So.
Did you?
Yeah, my wife. Yeah. So Stonehouse was a good one for wing night. But yeah, Squires. I usually remember starting a plate of wings at Stonehouse or at Squires. Never really remembered leaving or finishing that thing of wings.
Nobody does that.
No,
ever.
No. Great spot.
Yeah. Well, great to have you back. Excellent to have Beer of the Week back. So where are we going with? Hey, quick update on. I have to ask about the 6 o'clock.
Of course, yes.
Yeah,
it's on tap now.
It's on tap now. Yeah, we blew through a couple of kegs real quickly in our stores, filling growlers.
Amazing.
And we've still got stock. We've still got some product left in my Newcastle location in the north end.
Okay.
It's getting lower, but we've got some there. A little bit left in Sherwood Park, I think, in the Nottingham location.
Okay.
But we're gonna have more. Sounds like with Alley Cat, though, another run here coming around the 15th, 16th, somewhere around there.
All right.
Of this month. So we'll do probably an auto ship again to our stores, and it'll be back into the Connect Logistics is what it called, the main warehouse.
Okay.
So that the rest of the province can pull some as well this time. So there'll be more floating around here by the end of January.
Scott, it feels like we did good with this beer.
It's amazing. It was super fun. It was. I mean, the listeners, the Nasties are phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean, I think everybody knew how dedicated a group they were when you guys started this, and everyone came over and was super excited, and they showed it with their support in our stores to you guys, and it was amazing. You know, we were trying to get it around everybody. We knew it was going to be big, but we didn't think it was going to be that big.
That's so cool.
It was awesome, and I want to say everybody that came into the stores. There's a lot of people that came in and maybe were disappointed they couldn't get it, but everybody just was super. Just great to our staff, and they understood that it was a hot item, and it was just great. Everyone was really understanding, so it was a great product. It's a great beer. Alley Cat's a great brewery, and that's ultimately if it wasn't a good beer, it wouldn't have done well after that second push. And now you can see the longevity of it. Going to be a regular listing. So
that's so cool, amazing. We couldn't do it without you. You yourself driving flats
Here.
out to stores. So a hearty here to you, and then of course Cam and the gang at Alley Cat, and to all the Nasties and those that are trying out the 6 o'clock lager. It's just it is a damn good beer.
It's a damn good beer.
It's really good.
Yeah, we had a lot of people, not just me, in our office, on our teams that were really kind of helping out and making sure this worked on our end.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Big thank you to you guys and to Alley Cat and to the Nasties, and we'll keep this train rolling. People asked me like, "Hey Tom, can you hook me up? Tell me where I can get some. Do you have some?" I'm like, I have a hard time. My dad, you put aside one flat for him at the St. Albert location.
Yeah.
And he went and picked it up. And then at Christmas, he's like, I got some 6 o'clock lager left. Yeah. And he actually, so my uncles and the family were trying it out. And then I was like, damn, I better not have it, because I've had a bunch of it, and I let them enjoy it. And they loved it, obviously. Yeah. And then the next day, we went to my parents' place. He's like, I saved a 4-pack for you guys. So my brothers and I took care of it pretty quickly. Awesome. Yeah, so thank you, Scott.
Yeah, anytime, for sure.
This is an interesting one. Jim Loves the Mountains is chiming in here in the Nasty Chat, and he makes a great point. Not only does Potts in Fort Saskatchewan have great wings,
yes,
but they also have the 6 o'clock lager on tap.
That's right.
Might be worth a trip out to Fort Sask.
Absolutely.
Me and you, Tom?
We can do it.
Right now?
Right now.
Nasty road trip.
Nasty road trip, indeed. Be careful on those roads. Shamrock Club, Shamrock Curling Club, big thank you to Gavin Morton out there. And now I heard Summit Restaurant at Silent Ice Center. Looks like it has it on tap as well.
Beautiful.
Which is
very
fantastic.
cool. Yeah, the tap handle was pretty neat the first time I saw the tap handle.
It's surreal to see.
Beautiful logoing. Cool. Everything about it is
pretty
great.
Cool. Pretty cool. Can't wait for the next one.
Likewise. Okay. Let's see what we got for this week's
We
Safeway.
We are going with Village Brewing out of Calgary.
Excellent, as always.
A really good brewery.
Yeah.
I mean, I like all three of these beers. These three beers are just... They can always be in your fridge. You're going to hit 3 different kinds of drinkers on these ones. The Blacksmith is I'm torn between which one's my favorite, the Blacksmith or the Village Squeeze.
Okay.
But the Blacksmith is the beer of the week. It's $10.99 for 4-pack of Tall Boys.
$10.99?
Wow. $10.99.
Usually worth what, $13.99?
Usually $13, $14.
All right,
$10.99 for a 4-pack of these bad boys. It's an Alberta Black Ale.
Awesome.
Then we've got the Village Squeeze, which
Yep.
is an I don't know if you've had the Village Squeeze,
Yes.
raspberry lemon, delicious. And then we're going to do a Village Wit, which is
Yep.
a white wheat ale.
Yep.
So all of these, we've got 2 small cans, a tall can. Village been around since 2011. They've been around a long time. They do a really great job in Calgary. They do a ton of community work. They're just a great story, kind of, I don't want to say pioneers, but they've been around a while, that they really kind of set a standard for a lot of breweries coming in, showing what you can do in the community and what you can do as a group of people, kind of a collective. So great brewery, great story, great people.
We've enjoyed them on Beer of the Week a few times.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. So I think we should start with the Wit.
Okay.
So this is going to be your white wheat ale, 4.5%. These guys also do they have a non-alcoholic line as well called Craft. So
I saw that.
So if you're kind of into that, January where you're trying to reduce a little bit, maybe not drink so much.
Dry Jan,
but you want to go in and still have the flavor of a beer, or watching a hockey game. You want to still have that kind of. They do have Craft, which is really good. So this one here, 4.5%, nice and light, unfiltered wheat ale. American style, for orange peel, get a bit of coriander. So a lot of these you get a little bit of spice that comes through with these wheat ales, but just a delicious, delicious beer.
Cheers to Scott Laurie and the good folks at Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, and everyone at Alley Cat for making the 6 o'clocker lager what it is.
Cheers.
And this Village beer is delicious, crispy, and
crispy.
And I'm looking at, like, you're talking about, like, incorporating themselves into the community, supporting the community. It looks like it just has some people from the community on the cans too.
It does, and you can go on their website and find out kind of the stories of the people that are on the cans. These great pictures. They've kind of gone through a bit of a rebrand on them.
Yep.
There's artists, there's musicians, there's all sorts of kind of these. I don't know, influencers is the wrong word because you've been talking about that. I don't want to start that.
It's
debate.
just my I've got beef.
Yeah, but people that that are active and that are trying new things and being creative, and a lot of these people on these cans are that, which kind of aligns with the brewery. So. That wheat ale, again, you said the right word there, I think. Crisp is a really, really great way to describe that beer.
It is.
Refreshing. Really, I like
orangey.
that one. Orangey.
Yeah.
You'll get that orange peel usually with the
I
wheat,
like that.
for sure. It's not, it's you could say it's, if you have someone that wants a lager or a Pilsner, that kind of that lighter style beer.
Yeah.
Throw them that one. It's going to be different for their palate if they're not used to it because of that coriander, that kind of orange peel, but it's going to be light enough for them that they're going to really enjoy it.
With wits.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt. We will get to all the nasty questions. You got a lot of people asking you questions about specific deliveries to Red Deer.
You're more popular than before, and you're already very popular.
You're a popular dude.
Yeah.
So we will get to those when we are done with this.
Yes. I just wanted to add one more thing about that wit, because usually with the wits and the hefts and all that, like, super cloudy. This one, not so much, and that's where it goes back to the crispness, right?
Exactly, 100%. And we've done a million different kinds of styles. Different. Even just think of IPAs, and you look at the different. If you line them all up, they're going to look different. They're going to taste different. So this is their style. This is their take on it. So again, not every wit's the same. Not every pale ale's the same.
Yep.
So. That's the genius of craft beer, I always say.
Yeah, that's kind of the beauty of it, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Fergie's Prostate says, Scott knows beer and wings. Going with those flats.
Kind of have to.
Yeah.
All right, so now this is a staple in my fridge in the summer. It's a real, refreshing again. 4.8. I like, every once in a while it's nice to have a 10% IPA once in a while, but you got to mix in some of these lower alcohol, lighter beers, and this is a really good one. 4.8%, balanced, light, refreshing. You get subtle fruit. It's not a fruit beer necessarily. It's a beer with fruit in it. Lemon and the raspberry, because it gives you that fresh. You get a little herbal, a little hop. Smell to it, and then it's going to finish big with a raspberry finish.
I was going to ask, would you direct people to this one more so in the summer, or is this kind of an all-season type of fruitier, flavored beer?
I mean, I'm probably going to drink more of these in the summer.
I'd be inclined to as well,
but
instinctually.
Yeah, because I want that kind of fruity kind of.
Yeah.
It's got that
It's
summer.
summer.
Feel.
It
Yeah, it's
coincides,
raspberries. You kind of thinking that way. Whereas
Yeah.
in the winter, you kind of go to more the blacksmith. That's why
we're leading up to that.
Leading up to that one. So
that's why you're the smartest.
But
when it comes to this.
you don't want to just have winter beers in your fridge in winter.
No,
you got to mix.
You gotta mix it up.
You got to mix it up. So this one again, if you haven't tried the Village Squeeze, delicious.
All right.
Raspberry lemon. Cheers.
Glue
cheers.
guy, your cheers, and we're gonna save the last one for Scott.
This is a cheers to Redbeard himself. You are the legend is growing. You are the man, the myth, the legend in the present, and I am very appreciative of all the deliveries you made.
Yes,
you're a great partner to have here with what's going on, and you've really helped out the branding and getting it out there and being
our Santa Claus.
Our Santa Claus.
Truly.
Cheers to Redbeard.
Cheers,
to
fellas.
Scott.
I appreciate that.
Salute.
Slanja.
Okay.
Now tell me that's not delicious.
That's really good.
The fruity raspberry kicks
Ooh,
in.
I like the
and
finish.
the lemon kicks in at the end.
The end.
Yeah.
At first, it's just straight up. It feels like a straight up beer, and then I'm getting the flavor punching me in the mouth in the end.
Almost like I know the notes say it, but you do is a bit of a herbal kind of like an earthy.
Yeah.
Kind of feel to the finish, and
Okay,
that kind of the,
yep.
like kind of in the the back part of your jaw
like
here,
tannin-ish almost,
Yeah,
right?
you're kind of getting that hit afterwards. And again, great part about beer is it'll
I hate
highlight.
to say it, but like if you warm that up and put that in a teacup, like that would be pretty damn good.
I would never have
I know I know you would never do that, but like that's just the vibe I get off that is that like
Earthy.
you say that earthy herbal style taste. That's really good.
Yeah, no, I love Village. I think they're
It's
great,
always
great
good.
brewery.
Yeah.
Usually I have to steal beers from you when we're out there before the hangout, but I just might take them now.
You might, just kind of pass them around. But again, the great brewery. So this is the Blacksmith. I think this was the first Village beer I'd ever had. The color on this one is beautiful, but it's not heavy. Like this isn't a heavy dark beer. This is really it's not a stout. It's an ale. So you're gonna get more of that. It's award winning, but you're gonna get medium. I would say
Just subtly slide that in.
I mean, they all are, but tons of awards. 5.4% alcohol. You're going to get that kind. It's a medium bodied, I would say, if we're talking about kind of this dark, but just a real traditional style of beer, and more of that winter style, I would say, when you get into that red ales, dark beers. $10.99 for a 4-pack again.
Unbelievable
Just
price.
a great price. Just an awesome beer. It was again my first favorite from Village.
Okay. Well, this last cheers, you get the honors. So take it away, Scott.
Cheers to you guys holding down the fort. Great job, Jay.
Thank you.
Fantastic week.
Thank you.
And hopefully everyone gets better and feels better soon.
Yes, good point.
like jeepers, creepers.
I know.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
to you guys.
Cheers to the nasties, to everyone.
Slanja. Yum.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yum.
like. And at first I was thinking, okay, we're getting colder weather coming in now. It is January. We're gonna go into February, obviously. And I'm like, this is where this type of beer kicks in, but it's not wearing on me.
Nope.
And I know that's the first sip, but
No,
it went down smooth.
You're getting, some of that, again, with usually kind of, I want to say that winterish, this kind of style beer, you're getting a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of coffee, a little bit, maybe espresso.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Little beanie.
Exactly.
I had notes of like almost like a molassesy flavor near the end.
Yeah, that's the maltiness, that kind of that base to it.
I
so
like
you're
that.
On it.
I like that.
You're on it.
Yeah.
And it's again, really, really, really nice beer. To enjoy, and it's again great price, not overly alcoholed. You can have a couple of these ones; they're not heavy.
$10.99 for a 4-pack.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great price.
Awesome.
It's a great price.
Awesome.
A great price.
Van Owen via the Nasty Chat says, I really like that wit beer from Village. It's too bad it's dry January, but they have, like you said earlier, an option for those.
They've got a whole line of they're called craft.
Yep.
And they've got a hazy pale, a pale ale, a blonde, and a stout. Some of our stores have them in a mix pack.
Okay.
They're a little. We don't have them in all of our stores. Some of the smaller stores won't carry those, but you will find them in our grocery stores in a lot of cases. So go to a regular Sobeys or a regular Safeway or Freshco, and you'll see some of these on the regular shelf there. So hit up their non-alcoholics too if you're doing the dry January.
Ken in the Park came in, and I saw this earlier on the Nasty Chat as well, but Ken in the Park came in on the Paris Jewelers inbox, and he says, I have celiac disease, so I can't enjoy the Village Brewery beers, but I will tell you that their ciders are absolutely
100%.
amazing as well. And I've seen that on the Nasty Chat as well.
Yeah, they've got a whole line of fruit ciders, pears, and things like that. And those ones, again, in our stores, you'll see them in some of our bigger stores right now. A lot of those we kind of cycle through for the winter. So you'll get a little less variety through the winter, but certainly through the summer, we've got all range. And I know a friend of mine's celiac as well, so his choices are limited, but there's a whole line of gluten-wise, gluten-free beers that are out there that we have in our stores. So there's some options there.
Village Brewery, the Blacksmith is the beer of the week, $10.99, unreal price for a 4-pack.
Yeah.
So go check it out. We do have a $50 GC to Sobeys Safeway Liquor. On the line, text us via the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. You want in on that $50 GC. Text YouTube Trev, and he'll pick a winner. We want to get you some of that good stuff.
Like
and
4 of these 4-packs.
Maybe, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
10 unbelievable price. And then again, I know this is Village this week as the beer of the week, but again, to go back to the 6 o'clock lager, $14.99. We locked in the price, right? And that's a buck less than usual. Isn't it?
Yeah, we had it at kind of an introductory super low price to start with.
Yeah,
and then we had to come up $1 just to be. But we worked pretty hard, and Alley Cat worked really hard to try and make sure that we kept it at a nice, low, affordable, reasonable rate. And I think that was a credit to them. They could produce it at that price.
Yeah, you're gonna stick around for the wrap because we have questions for you that I know Jay wants to launch your way.
Sounds good.
The wrap brought to you by William Huff, WilliamHuff.com, wrapping the city since 1972. Make your place look as good as ours with Bruce and the team at William Huff. They did all of our studio. It looks fantastic, as well as our lounge area. Absolutely tremendous. So go check them out if you need some wrapping done. And they do much, much more than just wraps as well. Old Redbeard himself, Scott Laurie, joining us from Sobeys as Safeway Liquor. The beer of the week is the Village Brewery Blacksmith, $10.99. Text us, Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999 if you want that $50 GC. All right, we need to get into some of the questions for Scott.
Well, yeah, there's, Smitty the Welder was wondering when is there going to be more 6 o'clock or lager in the Red Deer area?
Yeah, so the Red Deer area should get some after that 15th-ish, but I'll make sure I update on our social media as best I can.
Yeah.
And on the Nasty Chat, I'm in there quite a bit myself.
Yep.
So it'll be after the 15th.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. A lot of questions about these mini mugs.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that. They are Sobeys and Safeway Liquor
quite
mini
cute.
mugs. Yeah, do you guys sell them?
We don't. So these are
You should.
we're sponsors
I think that would
of
be
the Alberta Beer Fest.
Could use it as an
ornament. These are their sampling mugs. They used to use at the festival. So we're kind of the lead sponsor. So I managed to get a handle on a few of these.
Yep.
But no, we don't sell them in some of our stores that have growler bars. We use these as our sample.
Yeah,
as our little sample mugs.
Sure.
These are
plastic.
so good.
But yeah, that's where we got them. They remind me of the A&W mugs that we used to have as kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have the big A&W ones.
While we have a 3-person panel, I have to get to this. I promised Atif I would.
Yep.
He's got a beef.
Atif does?
Oh yeah. Big
All right.
one.
Is it
Big
influencers? Because I'm right there with them. I'm just kidding.
He's got an issue with ATMs and like at a concession, say, stand at Rogers Place, where they're asking for a tip.
Yeah.
He's really, that bothers him. Does that bother you?
This isn't just like, I think this popped up yesterday. Okay, so this is not just
he said
like a alcohol vendor.
No, he said, what is going on with debit credit machines in this city? Everywhere you go, the debit and credit machines expect you to tip.
Yeah.
The only time I will tip is at a restaurant when the service is amazing. I will not tip at an Oilers game at Rogers because the food is too expensive, unbelievable. By the way, I'm thinking of having a Connor Brown goal party when he scores his first goal.
Atif would have a Connor Brown goal.
So that's the question. No.
It depends what it is though, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're at a bar or restaurant.
If you're at a sit-down restaurant and you have a
service?
server and you, of course, I'm guilty of generally over-tipping,
Yeah.
But where it's something where that's your job, like you're serving beer, I don't know. Is that
pouring one at a game and
off the thing? And
yeah.
is that a tip-worthy thing? Maybe a couple bucks.
I do.
I think it depends. I really think it depends
Yeah.
on the service you're getting. If it's strictly and I know I've seen it when you go into and they're just basically handing you something.
Yeah.
Not so much. Right? Like I'm
Valid.
not
That's
I'm
fair.
not, but if someone's going to like a restaurant for sure, I'm guilty of you. My wife was a server, so we tend
Yeah.
to over tip usually
Yeah.
in those kind of situations because they're working, they're hustling,
Hustling.
they're doing you can see them and they're tipping out the kitchen and they're doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I totally get it there. But yeah, no, sometimes those automatic pin pad, automatic tip, I usually skip right past that.
Yeah,
unless they're doing something specific that I'm asking them to change or to do or be
and it can be
unique.
in really
Yeah.
unique situations too, like
Yeah.
where you're buying a jersey at the Oilers merch store and it asks for a tip.
That's where it's starting to pop up in things.
Like, what's that all about?
In areas like that. Like I bought a sandwich the other day, which was $18
Mm-hmm.
to begin with, and it asked for a tip, and I was like, I think I'm paying a lot for a sandwich that's usually like $10-11.
Well, yeah, you're paying a lot when you're buying a. How much is a beer now? At Rogers?
$10.99 for
Well, yeah, you want a good one. That
No.
set that up perfectly.
Yeah. No, I think, and to be fair to the guy, the people working behind the counter, a lot of that stuff is automated, so they're not asking, they're not putting
Right,
that on
right.
there. So
Yeah.
that's just a
just
function of
greedy
the system,
owners.
a function of the system that's
Good
in
point.
there. So it may not necessarily be that guy or that gal that's asking for that. So. But yeah, I think if they're doing something unique for you, for sure.
Restaurant, bar,
Yeah.
like the traditional where they're working for those tips.
Yeah.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do it for like nice coffee shops too.
Yeah.
Always.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're doing something again. That's like they're preparing something in front of you. That
Yeah.
takes
Yeah,
some
well, and
skill
then there's a
takes
local
some,
feel to
Yep.
it, or a small family business vibe to it, 100%.
Yeah.
But when you're saying it at Rogers, like, you know, I get, and yeah, there's people saying like for like Spency says, for a beer at Rogers, I usually round up to the nearest dollar for a tip. If it wasn't so expensive, yeah, maybe I would tip a couple
Yeah.
bucks.
And just sometimes people say, "Oh, Rogers has become so expensive." It's across the board in all
Yeah.
sports. Like all venues are now like that. So there's some great
No, it's not.
places.
No, it's not.
Where? Atlanta.
Francisco.
No,
Where?
right in Edmonton, Stingers games,
Yeah,
Five. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
right?
And actually,
And free parking, and $3 hot dogs, $3 popcorn.
Riverhawks do a good job.
Yeah, the Riverhawks would.
I think the Elks do some specials too, but I know where you can get $10.99 Village Blacksmith.
Yeah.
So
And we won't ask you for a tip.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what else? What else did people text in for Scott? We've got a couple minutes here.
Well, let's see here. I got to get back over to here. There is some Oilers talk. So a lot of people were really happy that you are in fact a beer and a wings guy.
Yeah.
A lot of love for the drums. Now, okay, there was one other one. Yeah. Are we going breaded or are we just going plain?
Plain.
Me too.
Yeah.
Good
plain.
answer.
Plain.
I think the breading is, as somebody said it earlier in the nasty chat, it's almost just too much filler,
Yeah.
you know? But, you know, you get that juicy, real crunchy crust on the outside.
that.
I like a drier than.
You're dry.
I'm like
okay.
a drier wing than,
Yeah.
than a wetter wing.
Too much sauce is sloppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that fine balance is hard to hit, but if you can, it's magnificent.
You know, when we were cheersing there, I think I noticed we all had a different language cheers.
That's right.
There was three.
Diboja?
Yeah, Slanja.
Slanja?
And then just straight up cheers.
No,
Oh, I did a salute.
You
didn't
did
I?
salute.
And
Yeah.
Italian.
It's
I
kinda
didn't.
funny.
I didn't do salute.
We're global people, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah.
So, Scott, you know, somebody made a good comment here, and I'm not saying this has to happen, but dry January is a thing.
Sure.
A lot of people go through that after celebrating quite hard over the holidays
in the good stuff.
What about maybe a dry January for Sobeys Beer of the Week? Maybe not the whole month, but maybe some options that you know our listeners can see that are available at Sobeys that would be non-alcoholic.
It's a great next week.
Next
week.
week.
Yeah,
You heard it here first.
No, I'm not here.
The actual beer of the week next week is Big Rock, and we're doing non-alcoholic. They have a brand new Pacer Hazy non-alc beer. So yeah, we're hitting it next week with them. So yeah, there are some really good. I think we've done a couple non-alc beer of the weeks already because these craft guys they're also making they're de-alcoholizing the beer. So in the past, you'd have a non-alcoholic beer where they were trying to make a liquid that tasted like beer.
Right.
Now they're kind of making the beer and pulling the alcohol out of it.
They can do that.
Yeah, they de-alcoholize it. So I think they dry it. I'm not sure exactly how they do it. I'll know by next week. But they make these. They're making beer that take the alcohol out. So
is it okay? So what you're saying is it's a different process than what there was in the past.
Yep.
Because I know and call me whatever you want, but that Corona 0% tastes exactly like a Corona.
Yeah. Well, and that's the style of beer,
and it's 0.0
that it fits with.
Right.
Now you can give a Guinness 0.0.
Right.
You couldn't do that years ago, right? Like they didn't know how to do that. Whereas Corona is such a light beer anyway that in terms of the flavor profile and what's going into it, that you can kind of pull that alcohol out there a little easier and still taste really, really good.
Yeah.
The options are much better. The technology's better. The craftsmanship's better. Non-alcoholic beers used to be very sweet, and they usually had a bit of a corn taste to them. So they were trying to kind of bring up that taste to taste like beer. And it really, you could only have one. And the first couple of sips, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. It tastes like beer. And then you kind of get used to be able to, when you got to the bottom of it, you kind of had a weird, fuzzy mouthfeel to it. And it was kind of how they made it. And it was usually, they had a little bit more sweetness added to it. There was some additives to it. Now it's not that. So just lots of really good options. And again, next week, the Pacer from Big Rock is what we're going to be tasting.
Awesome. That's for Dusty and Eric to deal with. I like when you bring in the good stuff.
Give us the good.
But,
I will try some more of that dark one.
Yeah.
And then Scott, my last. Do you have one more?
Well, no. Just want to clarify. I didn't say parking at Riverhawks was free. I know that, but at the Stingers games,
yes.
it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And Steven chimes in the inbox, the Paris Jewelers inbox. He says, "I don't understand the tip rage. Just ignore it and don't do it." The more people that just automatically hit the lowest button out of guilt, the more people will increase that minimum. We have to stand united now, but we've made it clear.
Yeah,
it's okay to tip.
Yeah, of course. It's at your discretion, but like in the service industry, they work off of tips. But there are.
Have you ever not tipped because the service was poor?
No, I feel bad.
I mean,
no,
I'm too much of a chicken.
Yeah,
that person's probably had a terrible day.
Who knows?
There's a reason.
Is true.
So.
Scott, I was going to ask you one more thing about Dry January because, I mean, you are the guru, you are a connoisseur. Are we seeing more people partaking in this? And is that kind of why Big Rock is creating a non-alcoholic or 0% type of beer?
Yeah, I think coming out of COVID really is where we saw the biggest drop-off where people, probably indulged too much when we were all staying at home doing nothing.
That is legit. That is the thing.
So
people
stopped. So I think it's certainly a thing where people are. I would say not everyone's doing a full-on dry January, but people are trying to reduce.
Yes.
And having a non-alcoholic option in your fridge, if you are all entertaining or having people over, I think is a real necessity at this point. People are driving. It's not the old days. People are driving, and people don't necessarily want to have a Coke. Right, so they want to feel included into people. Maybe you're playing poker, playing cards, or something, or you're watching. You're playing games.
Socially,
it's socially. It's nicer to have a
nice
a
to have
glass
something in
of
your hand
beer that looks like beer, that tastes like beer. That people aren't going to go, "Why are you having a Coke today? Why are you having a water today?" So it's an important thing to have in your fridge for the drivers, the people that don't want a beer. The product's better, and people are trying to probably drink a little less day to day.
That's a real dick move, by the way. If somebody has a Coke in their hand and you say, "Why do you have a Coke?"
Yeah.
Screw off.
I
agreed.
You never know.
January.
You never know.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like that is.
And I would
stay away.
I did a dry January. I do it like not vodka cran, but I would have like soda cranberry.
Yeah.
People are like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm trying not to drink this month."
Yeah.
And I would get mocked, and I did feel bad about it. So I like that this is becoming more of a prominent thing. And it is good that we're going to do it for Beer of the Week next week.
They're getting you can actually get some wines that are starting to taste a little better now. Non-alcoholic wine. It used to be again just like juice.
Yep.
Like it wasn't very good, but now we're getting some newer ones that are starting to again like the beer is starting to taste a little bit more like a wine. Reds and whites, and we're actually getting spirits. You're getting quite a few gins.
Oh wow.
Gins are probably the easiest one to make because gin is such it's a white based spirit anyway, and you're adding juniper and things to it, so you can do that easier. But there's vodkas, there's whiskeys, there's bourbons. They're all non-alcoholic but have the same flavor profile.
Okay, let's wrap things up because it's been a fun Friday. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Who won the $50 GC to Sobeys Safeway Liquor? Who is it? Normology won. Congratulations,
Sweet.
Norm. Village Brewery Blacksmith is the Sobe Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. $10.99. $10.99. Great deal. And we're going to leave the last statement to you, Scott. Oilers and Sens, do they make it 7 in a row?
Yes.
There you go.
Boom.
Simple as that. Boom. Jay Milne, EST Glue Guy, great work this week.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
again,
thank you.
Big thank you to Scott Edwards as well as Shehan Jeyarahan for dropping by for CBS Sports. And that'll do it for the Nielson Show. No hangout today. The Lock Shop with Huss will be on later, as well as the Oil Stream with myself and Matthew Awanik. And Matty Cassian chimes in and says, yeah, he does have RSV. He's got the nasty thing that's going around. He will try to be on the pregame tomorrow. So we do have the pregame, 6:30 tomorrow. Oilers taking on the Sens. Redbeard himself said it, 7 in a row. It's going to happen. That'll do it for Jay Milne, Scott Laurie, and YouTube Trev. I'm Tom Gazzola saying ciao for now.
Said we could both get jobs.